Chapter 883. Defying Fate was the last move of the art of defying fate. It was extremely powerful. It could defy fate and use the illusory power of fate to kill the enemy. The river of fate was connected to all living beings. Every living being had a string of fate in their body that was connected to the river of fate. Some powerful living beings might be able to control their own fate and sever the string of fate. They could transcend fate and not be bound by the river of fate. However, the left and right holy masters were definitely not one of them. Defying fate was to communicate with the power of the river of fate and sever the string of fate. A person without fate would naturally not be able to exist in this world. They would be completely obliterated in the end. The power of this move was extremely terrifying. However, with Ling Xiao's current cultivation, he would definitely suffer a great backlash if he used it. Especially the left and right holy masters. They were not ordinary living beings. They were half-step gods and possessed all sorts of unfathomable powers. Rumble. The river of fate and Ling Xiao merged into one, and turned into a brilliant ray of divine light that slashed towards the left and right holy masters. What? The left and right holy masters felt their scalps go numb as they sensed a fatal danger. Without hesitation, they activated the power of their godheads. Boom. The glabella of both of them shone brightly as waves of divinity spread out. Ling Xiao could vaguely see that the string of fate of the left and right holy masters seemed to have strengthened significantly in an instant. The defying fate divine light slashed down and collided with the two strings of fate. Instantly, there was an explosion of divine light that was extremely brilliant. Rumble. Above Ling Xiao's head, the sky trembled as a black sea of lightning was formed. It was as if Ling Xiao had triggered some forbidden power and was about to unleash a terrifying heavenly tribulation. However, Ling Xiao's eyes were extremely sharp. At this moment, he only wanted to kill the left and right holy masters. Boom. The fate threads of the left and right reverends began to tremble violently. The two of them suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood as an expression of extreme fear appeared on their faces. The two godheads in the glabella of both of them dimmed, as if they had used up a lot of energy. Slash again. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He activated the heaven-defying divine light and slashed down again. His face turned even paler, without a trace of blood. Rumble. Thunderbolts filled the sky, flashing with an incomparably terrifying destructive power, and descended from the 9 heavens. The power of this lightning tribulation was even more terrifying than Ling Xiao's Tao confirming supreme, as if it was going to destroy the world. The King Heaven Devourer cauldron floated over Ling Xiao's head, glowing with dazzling light as a terrifying vortex of devouring power sucked in all of the lightning. Ling Xiao was prepared to resist the heavenly punishment and kill the left and right reverends. Boom. Their threads of fate began to tremble even more violently, as if they were about to shatter at any moment. The originally sparkling and translucent godhood actually let out a crisp sound as it cracked open. What? The left holy master and the right holy master were scared out of their wits. They were bleeding from their 7 orifices, and their eyes were filled with terror. They had a feeling that the power of the heavenly law had descended, wanting to completely erase the two of them from the world. On the other hand, the power of against the will of the heavens was so illusory that they couldn't resist it at all. They could only activate the power of their godheads and hope that they could escape this calamity. Not good. The exalted celestials are in danger. Are you looking to die, Ling Xiao? The white tiger Dharmarajas, the vermilion bird Dharmarajas, and the black tortoise Dharmarajas' faces flickered with cold killing intent as they shot toward Ling Xiao. Screw off. Ling Zhen leaped into the sky, his eyes gleaming with radiance. The ancient white jade sword in his hand slashed across the sky. A blazing sword radiance sealed off the void, blocking the 3 guardian emperors. Ling Zhen looked at Ling Xiao with a hint of worry in his eyes. The price to pay for against the will of heaven was too terrifying. However, there was nothing he could do at the moment. All he could do was try his best to block the 3 guardian kings for Ling Xiao. Ruyuambel. Heaven and earth trembled as the light of against the will of the heavens descended. The left and right holy masters felt as if they were about to explode, and blood sprayed out in all directions as they trembled violently. What kind of power is this? How could you possibly wield power like this? Damn you, Ling Xiao. The left and right holy masters' eyes blazed with cold killing intent as they howled in rage. They could see that Ling Xiao wasn't in a good state. His face was ashen and he was trembling, but he was relying on his willpower to hold on. Again. Ling Xiao shouted, his eyes blazing with the desire to do battle. Dazzling godlight erupted from him, causing blood to spray out of his fleshly body. Staggering backward, he dropped to his knees, suppressed by the power of magical laws. The fourth beam of against the will of the heavens descended, causing heaven and earth to tremble and the void to shatter. Rumble. The physical bodies of the left heavenly venerate and the right heavenly venerate actually exploded into a bloody mist. The two of them howled miserably as their primordial spirits were left floating in the void with two godheads wrapped around them. Ruiyuumble. Finally, the lightning broke through the defenses of the King Heaven Devourer cauldron and bore down on Ling Xiao. Terrifying lightning slammed into him, causing him to tremble violently as he was sent flying. Meanwhile, Ling Xiao's eyes flickered with killing intent as he lunged toward the left and right holy masters. Are you looking to die, Ling Xiao? Bastard. The left holy master and the right holy master's expressions changed drastically. The lightning that filled the sky descended indiscriminately, enveloping Ling Xiao and the two of them. Streams of destructive godlight as thick as mountain ranges filled the air, pulsing with an aura that seemed capable of destroying anything and everything. They pierced through Ling Xiao's fleshly body and bore down on the two celestials. Ling Xiao was trembling as the King Heaven Devourer cauldron was destroyed. Although he had the war god armor set to protect him, he was still seriously injured and coughing up blood. As for the left and right holy masters, they were in even worse shape. They were only left with their nascent divinities, and even with the protection of their godhood, they were still howling in pain. Everyone was completely shocked. None of them could ever have guessed that Ling Xiao would single-handedly injure the left and right holy masters to such an extent that their fleshly body would be destroyed. He's only in the second division of the Paragon level, but he already has the power to slay gods? He definitely deserves to be called a 10 extremes genius. That's right. It's too bad he offended the War God Temple. They have a lot of resources, and a mysterious war god who hasn't even made a move yet. No matter how freakish Ling Xiao is, he's going to perish here today. Yeah. What a pity. The War God Temple is really domineering. Chapter 884. Ling Xiao was definitely the most dazzling genius the War God continent had ever seen. Perhaps only the sword devil Duguqiubai from hundreds of thousands of years ago could compare to him. Everyone else, including the successor of the War God Temple, Buddhist child Kasayapa, Emperor Cyan, and Zhao Ritian, was completely overshadowed. To be born in the same generation as a consummate genius like this was both a blessing and a curse. As for Long Hanyan, the old goat, and Dragon Proud Heaven, they were all visibly worried. The tribulation lightning was so terrifying that even Dragon Blazer, a titled paragon, had a very serious expression on his face. It was almost on the same level as the legendary god Tribulation, and they had no idea how Ling Xiao was going to deal with it. Cousin is going to be fine. Long Outyan's eyes were filled with nervousness. He looked like he was talking to someone else, but at the same time he looked like he was trying to comfort himself. After all, Ling Xiao's opponents were two half-god spirits, and his cultivation base was only in the second division of the Paragon level. It was going to be a very difficult fight. Ling Xiao was already seriously injured, and was using the heaven-defying art to destroy the fleshly body of the left and right celestials. If it weren't for the protection of their godhood, they would already be dead. Rumble. Heaven and earth trembled as a golden vortex appeared amidst the tribulation lightning. Then, the Heaven Devourer cauldron expanded to a size of 30,000 meters, and began devouring the tribulation lightning. At the same time, Ling Xiao's aura seemed to vanish. Using the heaven-devouring secret magic to mask his aura, the Heaven Devourer cauldron devoured all of the tribulation lightning. Ling Xiao hovered there in the air, the Heaven Devourer cauldron floating above his head. Golden light swirled around him, and although his face was pale, his posture was as straight as a sword, and his eyes shone with intense light. The left and right celestials were now nothing more than nascent divinities floating in the air, their eyes filled with terror. If it weren't for the protection of their godhood, Their nascent divinities would have been destroyed by the tribulation lightning. I'm going to slaughter a god today. Eyes flashing with killing intent, Ling Xiao summoned the King Heaven Devourer cauldron, which transformed into a golden vortex that shot toward the nascent divinities of the left and right celestial. Damn you, Ling Xiao. The exalted war god won't let you get away with this. Even if I have to self-detonate, I won't let you get away with this, you swine. The left and right celestials howled as they drew on the power of their godhood to try to break free from the Heaven Devourer cauldron. Rumble. All of a sudden, a terrifying fist appeared, pulsing with boundless power as it slammed into the King Heaven Devourer cauldron. Heaven Devourer cauldron, the cauldron, the Heaven Devourer cauldron, the Heaven Devourer of Heaven Devourer. Ah! Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he realized that it was the magnificent sect who had made the move. Grand of Heaven Devourer of the of the Heaven Devourer. Who are you? Of God of Heaven Earth of Heaven's Heaven had. He could feel that Hua Tianzong's aura had become extremely terrifying. It was even more terrifying than the left reverend and the right reverend. It was as if Hua Tianzong had become another person. Ling Xiao instantly understood what was going on. It was likely that some powerful existence had possessed Magnificent Sect's body. Of all the people in the War God Temple, the only one who could make Ling Xiao feel so threatened was the legendary War God. I hate people named Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao said coldly. That's not your name. You must die. Grand of Heaven Devourer clan glared coldly at Ling Xiao. You're the War God of the War God Temple? Ling Xiao said, his eyes flashing coldly. You dare to be so arrogant with the power of a trifling nascent divinity? You have no idea how strong I am, you lowly ant. Even if I only have the power of a nascent divinity, I can kill you as easily as crushing an ant. Grand of Heaven Devourer clan said coldly, his body pulsing with a terrifying aura. Rumble. Heaven and earth shook as Grand of Heaven Devourer clan unleashed a fist strike toward Ling Xiao, filled with unstoppable god power. The War God incantation? A sharp light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. He realized that Hua Tianzong was using the battle god's secret art. He had condensed a trace of the battle god's power into his fist. Not daring to be careless, Ling Xiao also punched out. Kacha. The sky shattered as dazzling lightning flashed across the void. The two fists collided, and a muffled sound came from the void. Ling Xiao was sent flying dozens of feet away. What? Everyone was shocked. Since when did Grand of Heaven Devourer clan become so terrifying? It's not Grand of Heaven Devourer clan's power. I'm afraid that the mysterious war god from the War God Temple has possessed Grand of Heaven Devourer clan's body. He's too strong, someone said solemnly. War god? These two words seemed to contain some kind of demonic power, which made many supreme beings from the holy land of martial arts pale in fear. Boom. Grand of Heaven Devourer clan punched again, sending Ling Xiao flying. Ling Xiao had used the life-reversing technique and was severely injured. His body was in a terrible condition, and he couldn't withstand Grand of Heaven Devourer clan's terrifying fist strike. Ha! Ling Xiao, the War God is here. You're dead. How dare you go against the War God Temple? No one can save you. The left and right sovereign's eyes were full of hatred as they stared at Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao, who was originally like an ant in their eyes, had actually injured them to such an extent with his own strength. To them, this was simply a great humiliation. Ling Xiao had to die, otherwise they were afraid that they would develop inner demons, and from then on, their cultivation would be stagnant. Moreover, the dignity of the War God Temple must be defended. Anyone who dared to provoke the War God Temple must die. Rumble. Grand of Heaven Devourer clan stood in the void with an extraordinary aura. Every punch he threw was earth-shattering. Even an immemorial divine mountain would be shattered by his punch. Although Ling Xiao tried his best to resist, he was still sent flying. He coughed up blood and his body began to crack. Xiao. Ling Xiao save Xiao. Long Hanyan, who was in the distance, said to Ling Zhen with an anxious look in her eyes. Hanyan, don't worry. I'll do it. Xiao will be fine. Ling Zhen's eyes revealed a trace of coldness. He could feel that Grand of Heaven Devourer clan's aura was very strange. His body exuded an extremely powerful force, which even surpassed that of the left and right sovereign. Just a primordial spirit possessed such a terrifying aura. How strong would the real war god be? Could it be that the war god had become a real divine spirit? Chapter 885. Shower. Hua Tianzong's power comes from the primordial spirit of the god of war. I will use the power of the Book of Time to freeze Hua Tianzong. You'd better destroy Hua Tianzong's primordial spirit and kill him. Ling Zhen's voice was transmitted into Ling Zhao's mind. Okay, I'll try. Ling Zhao's eyes were sharp. He was severely injured and would have fainted if he had not used his divine strength to support himself. Boom. Ling Zhen instantly leaped into the sky and a mysterious radiance spread around his body. It was as if countless streams of light and shadows had appeared. Everything in the world, including the mountains and rivers, flowed slowly behind him. He threw out a palm strike toward Hua Tianzong. Mysterious lines, like divine chains of order, wrapped around Hua Tianzong in an instant, containing an incomparably vast power. Hua Tianzong's body trembled, as if he had been frozen in the void and could not move. Time General, you're courting death. Hua Tianzong was furious and his eyes were filled with cold killing intent. Violent power surged around him and caused the surrounding void to tremble violently. Puff. Ling Zhen suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood, and his aura became extremely weak. His face began to age at a speed visible to the naked eye and his body emitted a deathly aura. Ling Xiao, quick! Ling Zhen roared as his eyes were filled with determination. Father! Ling Xiao called out softly and his body was trembling. He naturally knew the price Ling Zhen had paid for using the Book of Time. It was the price of his life and it was irreversible. You all deserve to die. Ling Xiao shouted and his eyes were filled with killing intent. He pointed his finger and the wordless heavenly book wrapped around his primordial spirit and shot it into Hua Tianzong's forehead. Oh no! Kill Ling Zhen quickly! The left Holy Master and the right Holy Master's expressions changed. They quickly yelled. The Vermilion Bird Discipline King, the White Tiger Discipline King, the Black Tortoise Discipline King, and the other divine generals were filled with killing intent, and they all displayed their powerful super skills and charged toward Ling Zhen. Protect Ling Zhen. Long Lai, Fire Phoenix Supreme, and the others looked at each other and made a prompt decision. They immediately flew up with the old goat, Taoist Wuyang, Long Outyin, and the others to protect Ling Zhen. Big Radish even clenched its teeth and sacrificed a drop of godly liquid to execute a powerful defensive barrier around Ling Zhen. Rumble. The people from the War God of War Hall began to fight. They knew that they had to kill Ling Zhen, or they would be finished if Ling Xiao really destroyed Hua Tianzong. They would either win or die or die. The world trembled as the aura around the three Guardian Kings was terrifying. Their eyes were filled with incomparable craziness. Some of the divine generals even burned their divine power and primordial spirits to launch a suicidal attack on Ling Zhen. They self-destructed directly. Boom, boom, boom. Streaks of terrifying divine light erupted. Although Long Lai, Fire Phoenix Sovereign, and the others fought with all their might, they were still outnumbered in the end and were quickly injured. Even of heaven's discipline of the heavens heaves of heaven. Meanwhile, in Hua Tianzong's mind, Ling Zhao's primordial spirit rushed in under the cover of the wordless heavenly book. In Hua Tianzong's mind, there was a figure with a terrifying aura. His face could not be seen clearly, but he was covered in golden light and exuded a powerful aura. Kill! Ling Zhao's eyes flashed with killing intent. He immediately activated the wordless heavenly book and tried to devour the figure. However, Ling Xiao vaguely felt that the figure was somewhat familiar, but also somewhat unfamiliar. For a moment, he couldn't recall when he had felt this aura. The wordless heavenly book is with you? Kid, you deserve to die. When I return, it will be time for the wordless heavenly book to return to its rightful owner. The figure's eyes were filled with passion. He did not resist at all, and allowed the wordless heavenly book to come at him. Perhaps he knew that his primordial spirit power could not resist the power of the wordless heavenly book. Boom. Just as the wordless heavenly book was about to devour the figure, a terrifying power suddenly erupted. The power of the primordial spirit was directly annihilated. At the same time, The power of time that the divine general of time used to bind Hua Tianzong was also instantly shattered. A majestic force swept out and swept Ling Xiao and the wordless heavenly book out of Hua Tianzong's mind. Kid, I will remember you. Hua Tianzong took a deep look at Ling Xiao. Then he tore open the void. His body was wrapped in a golden light, and he disappeared into the void. Puff. The power of time shattered, and Ling Zhen instantly suffered a great backlash. He suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood, and his face immediately turned pale. His entire body was on the verge of collapse, and his aura became incomparably weak. If Long Hanyan had not supported him, he would have fallen directly from the void. The people of the War God Temple were dumbfounded. They had planned to kill Ling Zhen and save Hua Tianzong. However, Hua Tianzong tore open the void and left without saying a word. They suddenly felt a sense of abandonment. Boom. Ling Xiao abruptly opened his eyes. A cold and sharp light landed on the left Holy Master, the right Holy Master, and the members of the War God Hall. Today, the War God Temple shall be destroyed. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with killing intent. He instantly charged towards the people of the War God Temple. Ling Xiao's injuries were severe. However, he suppressed his injuries with the War God's strength and unleashed a terrifying attack. Boom. His fist swept across the sky. The golden fist imprint was dazzling. The Judgment God fist was unstoppable. In an instant, two supremes of the War God Temple were turned into a bloody mist by him. Their souls were completely scattered. Crack! Ling Zhao's figure flashed and appeared behind the White Tiger Discipline King. He smashed the powerful defensive armor on his body with a punch. The White Tiger Discipline King coughed out blood and was severely injured in an instant. Without the left and right Reverend and Hua Tianzong, Ling Xiao slaughtered the supreme beings of the War God Temple like a tiger in a flock of sheep. Bastard! How can this brat be so terrifying? The left Reverend's eyes were filled with fear. Let's leave this place first. When the War God returns, it will be his death. The right Reverend gave Ling Xiao a deep look, then turned and prepared to flee. You want to leave? Anyone can leave, but you must die. Ling Xiao's eyes were cold. He instantly appeared in front of them. The King Heaven Devourer Cauldron emitted a terrifying devouring power. Golden light and runes filled the air, enveloping the left and right Reverend. Chapter 886. Rumble. Ling Xiao hovered in the air, his hands suppressing the paragons. The King Heaven Devourer Cauldron shone with dazzling light, and golden chains of order wrapped around the nascent divinities of the left and right celestials. Everyone looked at Ling Xiao in shock, their eyes filled with awe and veneration. Only the strong could command respect, and Ling Xiao had won their respect with his strength. Even if he wasn't the most powerful person on the War God Great World, he wasn't far from it. Everyone from the War God Temple was in a state of panic. Their eyes were filled with incomparable terror. Ling Xiao's power was so strong that they couldn't fight back. All they wanted to do was get away. Let us go, Ling Xiao. If you don't, the exalted War God will come back and kill you beyond the shadow of a doubt. That's right. The people from the War God Temple are 10 times stronger than us. They're God spirits. If he wants to crush you, he'll crush you like an ant. If you know what's good for you, you'll let us go. The left and right celestials' eyes were filled with terror, and yet, they still tried to threaten Ling Xiao. You're about to die, and you still dare to threaten me? Are you looking to die? Ling Xiao's voice was as cold as ice. Without the slightest hesitation, he continued using the King Heaven Devourer Cauldron to refine the left and right celestials. When the left and right celestials saw that Ling Xiao didn't care about their threats, they started begging for mercy. But Ling Xiao wasn't moved by force or persuasion. He continued to use the King Heaven Devourer Cauldron. You're forcing our hand, Ling Xiao. The left and right celestials shouted, their eyes flashing with madness. If you don't want to let us live, then we'll die together. Ruiyuambul. The two godhoods shone with dazzling light, emanating a dangerous aura. Then the power of the left and right celestials' nascent divinities surged, and they exploded. They had chosen to self-detonate in the hopes of taking Ling Xiao down with them. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed, as if he had predicted that the left and right celestials would self-detonate. Without any hesitation, He used a secret magic to teleport away. Boom. The void shattered in an instant. It was like two resplendent suns had exploded. Divine light swept out in all directions and the reincarnation sea within a radius of 1,000,000 feet evaporated in an instant. A huge crater appeared in the reincarnation sea. Endless waves swept up high into the sky. Wind rose and clouds surged. Chaotic mist filled the air. Everyone was swept by the terrifying fluctuation. It was as if they were struck by lightning, and they were instantly sent flying. Their faces became incomparably pale. When two half-step gods self-destructed, even if only their primordial spirits were left, the impact would still be horrifying. Even a titled Supremes would be blown to smithereens. The left reverend and the right reverend were both half-god spirits with godhood, and the power of the King Heaven Devourer cauldron wasn't enough to assimilate them. What Ling Xiao had done previously was to force the left and right celestial venerables into thinking of perishing together. As expected, both of them chose to self-destruct in the end. Ling Xiao had been prepared for this, so when the left and right celestial venerables self-destructed, he teleported away and didn't suffer much damage. Whiz. Two dazzling godheads floated in the void, exuding a mysterious fluctuation. As for the left and right celestial venerables, their souls had long since been destroyed. Ling Xiao was surprised. He did not expect that the self-destruction of two half-step divine spirits could not destroy the two godheads. Godhood was unimaginably tough. Everyone looked at the godhood with burning greed, but none of them dared to take a step forward. Even the war god temple had suffered grievous casualties, so none of them dared to provoke Ling Xiao. Whoosh! Ling Xiao blurred into motion, appearing in front of the godhood and reaching out to grab it. A gleam of anticipation could be seen in his eyes. If he could assimilate the godhood, not only would his injuries be healed, but his cultivation base would also advance. Ruiyuumble. However, the reincarnation sea suddenly began to stir. The winds and clouds changed and the sun and moon dimmed. It was as if the great battle had completely enraged the reincarnation sea. A terrifying reincarnation storm began to form on the surface of the sea in the distance, sweeping toward Ling Xiao. The waves rose to the sky. Suddenly, a bloody mouth appeared in the reincarnation sea. It contained a terrifying devouring power as it moved toward Ling Xiao. "Oh no, it's the reincarnation beast," someone exclaimed. His eyes revealed an extremely grave expression. In the reincarnation ocean, waves surged up into the sky as the chaotic power of reincarnation surged out in all directions. A gigantic beast that was shrouded in black light was over 10,000 feet tall, like a gigantic mountain. Its entire body emitted an aura that caused one's heart to palpitate. It was the reincarnation beast in the reincarnation sea. The reincarnation beast's target was the two godhoods in the air. Oh no! Ling Xiao felt a sense of fatal danger in his heart. He didn't even think about it before activating his secret teleportation technique in an attempt to escape. However, this reincarnation beast was unexpectedly powerful. Its terrifying devouring power was not any weaker than Ling Xiao's heaven-swallowing secret technique. It even contained a cold and deathly aura. It swallowed Ling Xiao and the godhead in one gulp. "Bastard, let go of Ling Xiao. Kill him." Long Lai Fire Phoenix Sovereign, and the rest were extremely anxious. They all unleashed powerful attacks toward the reincarnation beast. Rumble. The reincarnation beast was surrounded by chaotic reincarnation force. It did not bother with Long Lai and the rest. After swallowing the godhood, it instantly sank into the reincarnation sea with satisfaction. The waves surged, and the reincarnation storm in the distance rapidly approached. However, the reincarnation beast and Ling Xiao had already disappeared. Ling Xiao was eaten by the reincarnation beast just like that? Everyone was dumbfounded. Ling Xiao had displayed his invincible might and killed the left and right reverends, completing the magnificent feat of slaying gods. The war god temple had also suffered heavy losses because of Ling Xiao. One could imagine that Ling Xiao had become the most dazzling peerless genius in the entire war god continent. Most importantly, he was still very young. As long as he was given time to grow, he would definitely become the most powerful person in this era. But now Ling Xiao was eaten by the reincarnation beast just like that? Everyone felt as if they were dreaming. Although Ling Xiao killed the left and right reverends, he also paid a huge price. He was already an arrow at the end of its flight. That's why he was not prepared for the reincarnation beast's sneak attack, and was swallowed by it. What a pity. Such a peerless genius has fallen just like that. An old man with a sinister gaze sighed softly. Even if Ling Xiao didn't die, the war god of the war god temple would not let him off. Being eaten by the reincarnation beast is too easy for him. Duan Wuji sneered coldly. However, he was secretly relieved. Chapter 887. Rumble. The reincarnation storm swept over, and everyone quickly left. The reincarnation beast has arrived. Our mission is over. It's time to go back. Zhu Biao said with a smile as he looked at Qin Yin. That's right. It's time to go back and report. Let's go. Qin Yin also looked deeply at the reincarnation sea, and turned to leave with Zhu Biao. Second uncle Ling Xiao died just like that? Are you kidding me? Zhao Ritian widened his eyes in disbelief. Previously, when he saw Ling Xiao killing 2 heavenly masters, Zhao Ritian was both happy and depressed. He was happy that Ling Xiao was not dead, but depressed that he would not be able to obtain the Scarlet Dragon War God's inheritance and the wordless heavenly book. However, he did not expect such an outcome. Isn't the reincarnation beast's arrival too coincidental? Could it be that someone is plotting against Ling Xiao? But that's not possible. Second uncle's voice was filled with doubt. Someone is plotting against Ling Xiao? Who? The war god from the war god temple? Zhao Ritian was slightly stunned. It shouldn't be. If the war god returned, he would have killed Ling Xiao. Moreover, the war god temple and the reincarnation beast have nothing to do with each other. Could it be someone from that world? Forget it, forget it. Ritian, let's leave this place first. Second uncle said slowly. His voice was solemn. All right. Zhao Ritian nodded. He sighed as he looked at the reincarnation sea and turned to leave. As for the people from the dragon tribe, their faces were extremely ugly. Their eyes were filled with worry. Cousin was eaten by the reincarnation beast? How is that possible? Father, quickly go to the reincarnation sea to save cousin. Long Outyin said anxiously. Xiaoer is dead? Xiaoer. Long Hanyan's face instantly turned incomparably pale, as if she had lost her soul. Don't worry. Ling Xiao is not dead. The old goat looked at everyone and said slowly. Everyone's expression changed as they looked at the old goat with hope. Before Ling Xiao left, he gave me the Heavenly God Stone. The Heavenly God Stone has Ling Xiao's primordial spirit imprint. If he dies, the primordial spirit imprint on the Heavenly God Stone will also disappear. Moreover, Ling Xiao's primordial spirit is also imprinted in Big Radish's primordial spirit. Big Radish should be clear about Ling Xiao's current state. The old goat said slowly. That's right. Although I don't want to admit it, the restriction that Ling Xiao left on my primordial spirit is still there. That guy is living well. Big Radish pursed its lips and said, Then what should we do now? Should we go to the reincarnation sea to look for Ling Xiao? Phoenix Maiden asked. Her face was full of anxiety. Moon God, who was beside her, also looked worried. No. The reincarnation sea contains the chaotic reincarnation force. Even a sovereign weapon may not be able to completely resist the reincarnation force. Especially in the depths, it is full of danger. If we go down, we will simply be courting death. The old goat flatly refused. Then what should we do? Are we going to wait for Ling Xiao to die? The reincarnation beast is so terrifying. How can he still be alive after being swallowed by the reincarnation beast? Long Hanyan said emotionally. Her eyes were blurred. Don't worry. Ling Xiao has already entered the reincarnation sea once before and came out unscathed. This time, he will definitely turn the misfortune into a blessing. The only thing we can do is to wait. The old goat said slowly. No one noticed that the old goat's eyes were slightly red. How could he not be worried about Ling Xiao's safety? However, he believed in Ling Xiao. He believed that Ling Xiao would not die in the reincarnation sea. He would definitely come back. Everyone fell silent. Although they wanted to believe the old goat's words, Would Ling Xiao really be able to survive after being swallowed by the reincarnation beast? The battle in the reincarnation sea quickly spread throughout the entire War God Great World. The entire War God Great World was in an uproar. In the time cave, Ling Xiao defeated many geniuses and experts and became the chosen one this time. He achieved a feat that had not been seen in a million years. He ascended to the ninth heaven and obtained the Scarlet Dragon War God's inheritance. The War God Temple wanted to obtain the Scarlet Dragon War God's inheritance from Ling Xiao. They did not hesitate to set up a trap to kill Ling Xiao. However, in the reincarnation sea, Ling Xiao killed old ancestor Nantian, Star Sovereign, Emperor Tomb Mountain's Lord, Exterminating Scholar, Azure Dragon Discipline King, and the Great Sun Demon Venerable. After that, he fought with the War God Temple and killed more than 10 Supreme Being experts. Even the left and right reverends who were said to have stepped into the godly realm died in Ling Xiao's hands. When the news spread, the world was shocked. Many people were doubtful. How could Ling Xiao, who was only at the second level of the Supreme Being realm, kill titled Supreme Beings, and even half-step godly realm experts? This was simply impossible. However, as more and more martial Dao Holy Lands stepped forward to confirm this matter, everyone was shocked. Ling Xiao, who was only at the second level of the Supreme Being realm, was the most dazzling peerless genius in the past million years after Sword Demon Duguqiubai. Countless young men and women admired Ling Xiao. They could not wait to witness that shocking battle with their own eyes. However, at the same time, the news of Ling Xiao being swallowed by the reincarnation beast spread. Everyone sighed with regret. Such a peerless genius had fallen just like that? The heavens were truly blind. Many people who were familiar with Ling Xiao were saddened when they heard this news. As for the martial Dao Holy Lands who had a feud with Ling Xiao, not only were they relieved, but they also jumped out to smear Ling Xiao's reputation. However, everyone knew that Ling Xiao was destined to become a legend, a myth, a peak that no one could surpass. At this moment, Ling Xiao, who was in the reincarnation beast's stomach, seemed to have arrived in a dark world. The black mist in the surroundings surged, and a mysterious force descended. The injuries that Ling Xiao had been suppressing suddenly erupted. His physical body cracked, the space between his eyebrows shattered, and even his primordial spirit became extremely dim. The life force in his body was close to drying up, and the injuries all over his body were transforming in an irreversible direction. Am I going to die in the reincarnation beast's stomach? What a huge joke. What a pity. There are still so many things to do. Jinsei, I'm sorry. Ling Xiao laughed bitterly. Unable to withstand the explosive injuries, he fainted. The reincarnation beast was like an ancient ferocious beast, swimming in the vast reincarnation sea. The surroundings were incomparably dark, and no one knew where he was. After an unknown period of time, perhaps 1,000 years, or even 10,000 years, when Ling Xiao opened his eyes again, there was light in front of him. Big brother, you're finally awake. A surprised voice suddenly sounded in Ling Xiao's ears. Chapter 888. Big brother, you're finally awake. A pleasantly surprised voice rang out. Ling Xiao opened his eyes and saw a young girl of about 12 or 13 years old. She looked innocent and unaffected, delicate and pretty, and her large eyes were filled with a clear and joyful expression. Where is this? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he asked faintly. He remembered that after he was swallowed by the reincarnation beast, he fainted. Ling Xiao even thought that he would be buried in the reincarnation beast's stomach. He didn't expect to wake up here. In front of him was a very exquisite house. It exuded a faint fragrance of a young girl. There were many cute little things. It should be a young girl's boudoir. Ling Xiao was lying on a bed. His clothes had already been changed by someone. If Ling Xiao guessed correctly, it should be this young girl who helped him change his clothes. At this moment, Ling Xiao's injuries were extremely serious. All the tendons and veins in his body were broken. Even his tough bones had many cracks. He had less than 10% of his divine power left. It was extremely bad. Even his primordial spirit had fallen into silence. His life source was close to exhaustion. Ling Xiao had never suffered such a serious injury before. This was the after effect of using the art of reversing fate. Even with the sky-devouring secret skill, Ling Xiao's cultivation would not be able to fully recover in less than a year. Even if his cultivation could be restored, it would be difficult to make up for the loss of his life source unless he could find a supreme divine medicine. The girl was wearing a red dress. She was tall and looked very innocent and cute. She said to Ling Xiao, "Big brother, this is the Xianping tribe. Grandpa said that your injuries were very serious. I'm afraid it would be very difficult for you to wake up. I didn't expect you to wake up after being unconscious for only 3 days. Big brother, what's your name? How did you suffer such serious injuries?" "My name is Ling Xiao. I was severely injured because I was chased by my enemies. Did you save me?" Ling Xiao smiled slightly. He didn't feel any danger, so he relaxed. However, Ling Xiao had never heard of the Xianping tribe. Could it be some uncivilized place? "Big brother, my name is Lu Shuer. 3 days ago, I was playing by the Yellow Spring Sacred River and accidentally found you." The girl in the red dress was very innocent and cute. Under Ling Xiao's indirect questioning, she told him everything. It turned out that 3 days ago, Lu Shuer had saved Ling Xiao at the Yellow Springs Holy River. At that time, Lu Shuer's grandfather, Lu Zhongtian, discovered that Ling Xiao's injuries were too severe. However, Lu Shuer insisted on bringing Ling Xiao back to the Xianping tribe, and took good care of him for 3 days and 3 nights. Ling Xiao finally woke up. As for where the profound Pin tribe was, Lu Shuer didn't know. He only knew that within a radius of 1,000,000 miles, there were countless tribes that belonged to Profound Light City. Xianping tribe? Profound Light City? Ling Xiao's brows furrowed slightly. These two names were extremely unfamiliar. He had never heard of them before. Ling Xiao suddenly had a bad premonition. Is this not the war god Great World anymore? This thought made Ling Xiao tremble. From the information left behind by Pang Gechu, it was very likely that the reincarnation sea was connected to the reincarnation world. The reincarnation beast appeared and disappeared mysteriously. It might have come from the reincarnation world. Thinking of this, Ling Xiao's expression became a little solemn. Could Shui Wei be in the reincarnation world? Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. He thought of the girl in a white dress. She was obedient and sensible. She had always been by Ling Xiao's side. She had disappeared in the reincarnation sea. According to the old goat and the others, Shui Wei had been taken away by the reincarnation beast. Perhaps Shui Wei was also in the reincarnation world. Thinking of this, Ling Xiao's heart became slightly excited. The most important thing now is to confirm whether this is the reincarnation world or not. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he thought to himself, "I didn't expect young master to wake up so quickly after suffering such serious injuries. It's really a blessing from the heavens. Congratulations." An old voice suddenly sounded from outside the door. An old man in sackcloth walked into the room. He had white hair and a white beard. His eyes were wise and far-sighted. His eyes were full of emotions. There was a young woman around the age of 16 or 17 by the old man's side. She had a cold and pretty appearance, and she was quite similar to Shui. However, there was a trace of vigilance in her eyes as she gazed at Ling Xiao. "Big brother Ling Xiao, this is my grandfather and my older sister." Lu Shuer hurriedly spoke. The old man was called Lu Zhongtian, and the white-clothed young woman by his side was Lu Shuer's older sister, Lu Shuang. "Thank you for saving me. Ling Xiao will remember it." Ling Xiao glanced seriously at Lu Zhongtian as he spoke. Ling Xiao was able to discern that the old man was at the 9th level of the monarch realm, Lu Shuang, was at the 1st level of the heavenly realm, and only Lu Shuer was at the 9th level of the meridian opening realm. "Young brother Ling, you're too kind. I'm really ashamed to speak of it. When Shui saved you, I thought that your injuries were too severe and you couldn't be saved. I never expected that you would actually wake up so quickly. I misjudged you." Lu Zhongtian chuckled as he spoke, and he was extremely frank. "Ling Xiao, who exactly are you? Why were you so heavily injured?" Lu Shuang gazed at Ling Xiao as she spoke coldly, and her eyes were filled with extreme vigilance and distrust. "Big sister, big brother Ling Xiao just woke up. Can you not question him like you're interrogating a criminal? Big brother Ling Xiao is definitely a good person." Lu Shui pouted as she gazed at Lu Shuang. Shui, big sister is doing this for your own good. Everyone knows that the profound origin fruit of my tribe is about to ripen. Regardless of whether it's the other tribes or the residents of Darklight City, all of them want the profound origin fruit, so we have to be on guard. Who knows if he's faking his injuries to sneak into the tribe and seize the profound origin fruit. Lu Shuang spoke coldly. Big sister, big brother Ling Xiao isn't such a person. I'll get angry if you speak of him like that. Lu Shui gazed at Lu Shuang with slight anger. The profound origin fruit? Don't worry, young Miss Lu. The profound origin fruit is useless to me. I don't need it. I'll leave the tribe tomorrow. Ling Xiao spoke indifferently. Ling Xiao naturally knew about the profound origin fruit. It was a fruit born by the profound origin sacred tree. The profound origin sacred tree was a top-grade sacred medicine that would only bear 30 profound origin fruits every 100 years. Not only could the profound origin fruit cleanse one's marrow and allow one to possess powerful cultivation talent, but it also contained pure spiritual energy that was greatly beneficial to condensing one's soul. However, Ling Xiao had seen more than one divine medicine, so he naturally didn't care about a mere profound origin fruit. It's useless to you? Do you think you're a supreme being? Even a monarch realm expert can raise their cultivation by consuming the profound origin fruit. It's best that you don't have any ideas about the profound origin fruit. I saved you, and I don't ask for anything in return. I just hope that you can leave the tribe as soon as possible. Chapter 889. I am indeed a supreme being. Don't worry, I will leave tomorrow. Ling Xiao touched his nose and said. He was a little helpless. He did not know why Lu Shuang was so hostile. Although they were both siblings, Lu Shui and Lu Shuang had completely different personalities. You are a supreme being? If you are a supreme being, then I am a deity. I didn't expect you to be so boastful at such a young age. Lu Shuang sneered. Ling Xiao looked very delicate. Although his real age was more than 20 years old, he still looked like a teenager of 16 or 17 years old. It was just that Ling Xiao's white hair looked a little strange. In addition, Ling Xiao was seriously injured. At this moment, there was no cultivation fluctuation in his body. He looked like a weak scholar. Ling Xiao said that he was a supreme being. Even Lu Shui and Lu Zhongtian did not believe it. Young friend Ling, please don't blame me. Many things have happened in the tribe. Shuang did not mean to offend you. I apologize on behalf of Shuang. Lu Zhongtian smiled bitterly and tried to smooth things over. It's okay. Ling Xiao smiled. He did not expect that no one would believe him. Young friend Ling, have a good rest. We will not disturb you. Lu Zhongtian smiled and left with Lu Shuang. Shui, is there a sutra depository in the tribe? Ling Xiao looked at Lu Shui and asked. Sutra depository? Of course there is. The Sutra Depository is one of the forbidden places in the tribe. Like the Xianyuan sacred tree, there are many elders guarding it. Brother Ling Xiao, why are you asking this? Lu Shui said with her eyes wide open. Shui, can you help me borrow a few books? Ling Xiao smiled. The most important thing for him now was to confirm whether he was in the reincarnation world. He did not ask Lu Zhongtian and Lu Shui just now for fear of arousing their suspicion. Borrow books. Lu Shui asked, Brother Ling Xiao, do you want to practice martial arts? The books in the Sutra Depository cannot be borrowed. They are the treasures of the tribe. But I will think of a way. I should be able to borrow a few books. Shui, I don't need martial arts manuals. As long as you can help me borrow some books that talk about the geography of the mountains and rivers, as well as the customs of the people, it'll be fine. I have nothing to do, so I'd like to take a look. Ling Xiao smiled. Leisure reading? That was easy. Big brother Ling Xiao, wait for me, I'll be back soon. Lu Shui said with a smile, then turned and left the room. Ling Xiao checked the injuries in his body again. He could not help but frown and smile bitterly. His injuries this time were too severe. He was afraid that he would not be able to use too much strength in a short period of time. Even if it was the strength of his physical body, Ling Xiao could only use 10% of it. Otherwise, if his injuries were to erupt, he would not be able to suppress them anymore. However, 10% of his physical strength was enough to protect himself. A sharp glint flashed across Ling Xiao's eyes. Even though he was heavily injured, he was still invincible against anyone below the refined state. Lu Shuer came back very quickly and brought back 3 beast skin books. They all looked very old. Big brother Ling Xiao, look. I begged the elders of the scripture pavilion for a long time before they allowed me to borrow these 3 books. I want to return them within a day. Lu Shuer was sweating profusely and her eyes were filled with excitement. Thank you, Shuer, Ling Xiao said with a smile. Unrestrained mountains and rivers, records of reincarnation, and legends of 9 Nether Son of Heaven. These were the 3 books that Lu Shuer borrowed. Ling Xiao quickly flipped through the pages. Finally, he took a deep breath and a glint flashed in his eyes. It was indeed the reincarnation world. Ling Xiao did not expect that the reincarnation beast would really bring him through the reincarnation sea and into the reincarnation world. The entire reincarnation world was a unified empire called the 9 Nether Empire. Under the 9 Nether Empire there were 10 kings. First Court King Qingguang, Second Court King Chujiang, Third Court King Songdi, Fourth Court King Wuguan, Fifth Court King Yanluo, Sixth Court King Biancheng, Seventh Court King Taishan, Eighth Court King Dusher, Ninth Court King Ping, and 10th Court King Zhuanluan. The 9 Nether Empire oversaw the Nether capital. The 9 Nether Emperor ruled the world. The 10 kings were hereditary and had been passed down for countless generations. Every king was said to be a godly spirit realm expert. They were extremely powerful and commanded millions of miles of mountains and rivers. The profound light city that ruled over millions of miles of land was only one of the thousands of cities under King Chujiang. 9 Nether Empire, the 10 kings? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He did not expect the entire reincarnation world to be a unified empire. If every king was a godly spirit, then the entire reincarnation world would have at least 10 godly spirits. They were extremely powerful, and were even more powerful than the war god world. If I'm not wrong, the 10 palace kings were probably just half-step gods like the left and right celestial masters. After all, the door to the godly world is closed. There shouldn't be any godly spirits in the lower realm. If that's the case, Shuewei might really be here. Ling Xiao thought to himself, feeling a little excited. After confirming that this was the reincarnation world, Ling Xiao decided to find Shuewei. Reincarnation world, 9 Nether Empire. Could Shuewei's 9 Nether bloodline be related to the 9 Nether Empire? If there's a chance, I have to go to the Nether capital to take a look. After finding Shuewei, I have to find the way back to the War God world. Although the War God temple was severely damaged, if the legendary War God returns, father and mother will be in danger. Ling Xiao thought to himself, and a sense of urgency arose in his heart. Ling Xiao returned the 3 books to Shuewei, and asked her to return them to the scripture reserve. Ling Xiao stood up from the bed and walked out. The Pine tribe was located on a vast plain. They used enormous ancient trees and stones to build houses that stretched for over 50 kilometers. There were over 100,000 people living here. However, the Pine tribe was only a small tribe under the rule of Darklight City, and there were a few dozen tribes like it in the surroundings. Ling Xiao was able to sense that the strongest expert in the entire Pine tribe was only at the half-step Exalt realm. And it was even to the extent that they hadn't even overcome the Earth tribulation. That aura was very old, and seemed like it was at the end of its lifespan. It was like a candle in the wind that would be extinguished at any moment. Besides them, there were a few 9th-rank Monarch Realm experts, and Lu Zhongtian was amongst them. Lu Zhongtian was the patriarch of the Pine tribe, and it was said that the high priest of the Pine tribe was there as well. It was probably that high priest who was at the half-step Exalt realm. The entire Pine tribe wasn't a threat to Ling Xiao. There was a river surging in the distance. It was a few hundred kilometers wide and surged with waves. It was suffused with a type of dark yellow energy, and it contained the profound energy of life and death. It seemed extremely vast and grand. Is that the Yellow Springs River? But there's very little Yellow Springs energy within it. It's probably just the smallest tributary. Chapter 890. The reincarnation sea of the war god continent was actually the water of the underworld. It contained a vast amount of death and life energy, but Ling Xiao could extract a large amount of life essence from it to nourish himself. Legend had it that the underworld sacred river was the sacred river of the entire reincarnation great world. It connected the yin and yang realms, and contained the power of life and death. However, only the Abysmal Empire knew where the true main branch of the underworld sacred river was. Even the 10 largest branches were controlled by the 10 kings. Ordinary people could not come into contact with them at all. The underworld sacred river in front of him was only the smallest branch. The power of life and death it contained was very weak. In the void of the reincarnation great world, there was not only spiritual qi, but also death qi, life qi, devil qi, and ghost qi. They were all mixed together, and were very heterogeneous. However, most of the living beings in the reincarnation great world relied on the underworld sacred river to absorb the power of life and death to improve their cultivation and strengthen themselves. Therefore, occupying the powerful underworld sacred river was also the foundation of a force. Ling Xiao left the Xianpin tribe and came to the underworld sacred river alone. The underworld sacred river surged with huge waves. It looked very magnificent. After Ling Xiao checked his surroundings and found that there was no one around, he immediately jumped into the underworld sacred river. If others saw him, they would probably exclaim out loud. Even an emperor would not dare to jump into the underworld sacred river easily. Anyone who dared to jump into the underworld sacred river was either courting death or extremely powerful. Whoosh! Ling Xiao was like a sharp sword. He instantly sank thousands of meters below the surface and went directly to the bottom of the underworld sacred river. He chose a place with the densest power of life and death, and directly used the sky-devouring secret skill to cultivate. Rumble. The area hundreds of meters around Ling Xiao turned into a vast devouring vortex. The endless power of life and death in the entire underworld sacred river crazily surged toward Ling Xiao. After the power of life and death was devoured by the sky-devouring secret skill, it was transformed by the reincarnation divine ability into the purest life essence. It began to slowly nourish Ling Xiao's body. Ling Xiao's injuries were very serious. All the meridians in his body were broken, and his bones were full of cracks. His divine power was almost exhausted, and his primordial spirit had also fallen into silence. The meridians in Ling Xiao's body slowly began to repair. The small wounds began to heal, and his aura began to strengthen. This was because Ling Xiao was holding back. Otherwise, the underworld sacred river would have completely gone berserk. However, that would definitely alarm the people of the Xianpin tribe. Just like that, a few hours had passed. The power of life and death in the underworld sacred river became more and more sparse. No. The power of life-death power of the underworld world sacred river is, at this rate of cultivation, even if I drained it dry, I wouldn't be able to heal even 1% of my injuries. Or of the underworld of. Ling Xiao opened his eyes and frowned slightly. Lu Shuang, stood beside Lu Zhongtian and said slowly, Ling Xiao, he does have a secret. If he were an ordinary person, he would have died long ago after suffering such serious injuries, but he woke up. He is indeed not an ordinary person. Lu Zhongtian's eyes revealed a wisp of wisdom. He sighed and said, but I can feel that he should have no malice towards our Xianpin tribe. As long as he doesn't have any ideas about the profound origin fruit, let him leave after his injuries are healed. Now that our Xianpin tribe is in troubled times, we have to prepare well for tomorrow's divine enlightenment sacrificial ceremony. I hope it can let our Xianpin tribe have a few more geniuses. Also, the profound origin fruit will officially ripen in a month. I'm afraid that Profound Light City and the surrounding major tribes will come. At that time, we might have to give out some profound origin fruit. Damn it. The profound origin fruit is our Xianpin tribe's treasure. Why should we give it to them? If our Xianpin tribe was still the master of Profound Light City like 1,000 years ago, who would dare to have ideas about the profound origin fruit? Lu Shuang's eyes revealed a trace of anger. Lu Zhongtian sighed softly and said, there's nothing we can do about it. In this world, Strength is respected after all. If our Xianpin tribe had a supreme, naturally no one would dare to have ideas about the profound origin fruit. But unfortunately, Shuang, or what did your sect say? Lu Shuang, or immediately smiled confidently and said, Grandpa, rest assured. The Tianxiang sect and Profound Light City are similar in strength. They both have supreme powerhouses overseeing them. My master said that this time, she will personally come to our Xianpin tribe. I believe that Profound Light City should give my master face and won't touch our profound origin fruit. Madame Xinghua will come in person? That's really good news. Madame Xinghua is a half-step supreme of the Four Symbols Tribulation. Even your sect master is her junior sister. I believe that with her overseeing them, Profound Light City should give her face. Lu Zhongtian's eyes also revealed a trace of excitement. That's right. My master will definitely uphold justice for us. This time no one can snatch the profound origin fruit. Lu Shuang'er said confidently. In the Yellow Spring Sacred River, Ling Xiao came out after cultivating for a few hours. Profound Light City should have an even more powerful branch. Moreover, there should only be 1 or 2 supreme powerhouses in Profound Light City. Did they snatch the Yellow Spring Sacred River from Profound Light City? Ling Xiao thought to himself as he walked towards the Xianpin tribe. But after thinking about it for a moment, he rejected this idea. If he really tried to snatch the profound origin fruit and alerted Chujiang capital, then it would probably be troublesome. Even though Ling Xiao wasn't afraid of trouble, he didn't want to take the initiative to provoke trouble. He had to think of a safe way. Stop! Ling Xiao had just arrived at the entrance of the Xianpin tribe when he heard an icy cold voice by his ear. A young man in a green robe walked towards Ling Xiao with a group of guards of the Xianpin tribe. His eyes were filled with an extremely cold and arrogant expression. The green-robed man seemed to be at the first level of the monarch realm. He had a handsome appearance and a slender figure. However, his mouth was very thin, making him look slightly mean and extremely arrogant. He spoke to Ling Xiao as if he was scolding a servant. What's the matter? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed sharply as he asked indifferently. Kid, don't think that you have the qualifications to be arrogant just because young Miss Xue saved you. In front of this commander, you're nothing. I advise you to behave yourself. Don't blame me for being merciless if I find out that you're trying to do something. The green-robed man stared at Ling Xiao for a while, and then he laughed coldly. Chapter 891. Fuck off. Ling Xiao glanced indifferently at the green-robed man, and spat out a single word. Kid, what did you say? The green-robed man's gaze turned cold, and he immediately walked towards Ling Xiao while his entire body emanated an extremely icy cold killing intent. Killing intent flashed through Ling Xiao's eyes. Ling Xiao had never paid any attention to a nobody like the green-robed man, but how could he let it go when someone dared to bully him in front of him? Exalts couldn't be humiliated. Regardless of whether it was the war god world or the reincarnation world, it was an iron law. A mere first-rank monarch realm ant dared to act so presumptuously. He was simply courting death. Wang Chao, what are you trying to do? Right at this moment, a furious voice resounded. Lu Xue ran over from afar and stood in front of Ling Xiao, and she gazed furiously at the green-robed man. Young Miss Xue, this kid actually dared to insult me. I'll teach him a lesson for you. Do you have any objections? The green-robed man Wang Chao laughed coldly. Wang Chao, I'm warning you, don't bully big brother Ling Xiao, otherwise I won't let you off. Chen Xue protected Ling Xiao while she gazed vigilantly at Wang Chao. Wang Chao grunted coldly while his expression was extremely unsightly. He gazed coldly at Ling Xiao and said, Kid, what's the point of hiding behind a woman? You have the gall to insult me. Do you dare to fight me? Ling Xiao just glanced indifferently at him and said, Fuck off or die. A trace of an icy cold glow appeared in Ling Xiao's eyes. It was like a celestial emperor was looking down upon all living beings, and it was extremely terrifying. It caused Wang Chao's entire body to tremble, as if his entire body had been seen through. How could a person possess such a terrifying gaze? Wang Chao was instantly furious from embarrassment, and he was about to flare up. Wang Chao, I'm warning you. If you dare to harm big brother Ling Xiao, Then I'll definitely tell grandfather and ask him to capture you. Chen Shui stared at Wang Chao with an anxious and furious expression. Wang Chao's gaze turned cold, but he seemed to have thought of something and laughed coldly. Kid, very good. Since you're courting death, then don't blame me for being merciless. Just you wait. Wang Chao glanced at Ling Xiao as if he was looking at a corpse, and then he turned around and left with the others. Big brother Ling Xiao, are you all right? Wang Chao is too abominable. I must get grandpa to punish him. Chen Shui glanced at Ling Xiao. I'm fine. Wang Chao is merely at the first rank of the monarch realm, so how could he possibly be the commander of your tribe? And it seems like he has no respect for you at all? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he said indifferently. Big brother Ling Xiao, it's actually very difficult for grandpa. This Wang Chao was said to be someone sent by Profound Light City. He was used to being arrogant, and didn't even put his grandfather in his eyes. But don't worry, I won't let him hurt you, Chen Shui said resolutely. Then I'll have to thank Shui? Ling Xiao said with a smile. Just now he actually wanted to kill Wang Chao, but with Chen Shui present he did not want to cause too much trouble, so he did not make a move. Otherwise, Wang Chao's words alone were enough to kill him 1,000 times over. Supremes were not to be humiliated, let alone Ling Xiao, who had once killed a half-step divine spirit. Brother Ling Xiao, don't worry, I'll protect you. Chen Shui patted her chest with a brilliant smile on her face. However, Ling Xiao saw a trace of worry on the little girl's face. Shui, what are you worried about? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he asked slowly. Brother Ling Xiao, tomorrow is the Divine Enlightenment Ceremony. Everyone in the tribe who has reached the age of 12 must participate. Through the Divine Enlightenment Ceremony, they will open their sea of qi and awaken their innate physique. I heard from Grandpa that my physique is very ordinary, but I really want to be like Jia Jia and cultivate diligently to share Grandpa's burden. Lu Shui spoke with slight worry as she spoke about her worries to Ling Xiao. Your physique is very ordinary? Shui, your innate talent is extremely strong, and no one in the entire Profound Pin tribe can compare to you. Don't worry. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he glanced at Lu Shui and smiled. Ling Xiao could tell that Lu Shui actually possessed the legendary Profound Pin physique. This was a peerless physique that allowed one to cultivate at an extremely fast speed, and had a natural affinity with the laws of heaven and earth. It wasn't any weaker than the many legendary saint physiques. However, the Profound Pin physique in Lu Shui's body was actually imprisoned by a mysterious bloodline force. It looked extremely ordinary, and even a half-step honorable wouldn't be able to see the uniqueness of Lu Shui's physique. Really? Brother Ling Xiao, do I really have a strong innate talent? Lu Shui's eyes widened, and her face was filled with surprise and disbelief. Don't worry. Shui's innate talent is very strong. Let Brother Ling Xiao help you. Shui will definitely shock everyone tomorrow. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Although the bloodline imprisonment in Lu Shui's body was very strong, it wasn't difficult for Ling Xiao. He got Lu Shui to sit down cross-legged, and he concealed his spirit and qi. Then he activated the sky-devouring secret technique, and devoured the bloodline imprisonment in Lu Shui's body. Wang. A mysterious aura spread out, and Lu Shui seemed to have an additional mysterious and ethereal temperament. Brother Ling Xiao, I feel like I've removed a layer of shackles, and my body is extremely relaxed. Thank you, Brother Ling Xiao. Lu Shui's face was filled with surprise, and she looked at Ling Xiao with admiration. Shui cultivate well. As long as the elders of your tribe aren't blind, they will naturally be able to recognize your bloodline talent. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Lu Shui nodded excitedly. The next day, at the God Awakening Ceremony. The God Awakening Ceremony of the Reincarnation World was actually a ceremony to worship the heavens and the 9 Nether Emperor. It also borrowed the power of the laws to open the Dantian Sea of Qi for the children of the right age to step into the true energy realm. This time, there were a total of over 100 children from the Profound Pin tribe participating in the God Awakening Ceremony. However, their innate talent was mediocre, and this made Lu Zhongtian and the other elders extremely disappointed. However, Lu Shui gave everyone a surprise. Profound pin physique? It's actually the profound pin physique, ha ha ha. The heavens are blessing our profound pin tribe. This is the strongest physique that only the ancestors of our profound pin tribe had. Legend has it that it's not weaker than many sovereign physiques. As long as she grows up, she will definitely be able to step into the sovereign realm. The heavens are really blessing our profound pin tribe. Could it be that the ancestors have really shown themselves? Ha ha ha. With Shui, our profound pin tribe will have a sovereign in the future. Many of the elders of the profound pin tribe were in an uproar, and all of them were so excited that they were dancing with joy. In the end, Lu Zhongtian gave the order to seal off the news of Lu Shui, having the profound pin physique, and to nurture Lu Shui in secret. Otherwise, if the enemies of the profound pin tribe found out, Lu Shui would really be in danger. Chapter 892. Ling Xiao had originally planned to leave Xian Pin tribe, but under Lu Shui's persuasion, he decided to stay for a while longer. This was because Ling Xiao could faintly sense that when the Xianyuan fruit ripened, the entire Xian Pin tribe would face a crisis. After all, he had been saved by Lu Shui. If he could resolve the crisis of Xian Pin tribe, it could be considered as repaying her for saving his life. However, after Lu Shui participated in the god's enlightenment sacrificial ceremony, she entered the forbidden area of Xian Pin tribe under the arrangements of the various elders, and began to cultivate in seclusion. At the same time, an uninvited guest arrived at Ling Xiao's courtyard. Ling Xiao, I don't care where you're from. I don't care who you are, what your cultivation is, or what your status is. I don't even care why you've come to Xian Pin tribe. I'm only here to tell you one thing. Lu Shuang stood in front of Ling Xiao. She wore a white dress. She was tall and slender, and her face was beautiful. She was extremely cold as she stared at Ling Xiao with a trace of arrogance. Shui is my sister. She's also the hope and future of Xian Pin tribe. I don't want anyone or anything to distract her and affect her future. You're not from the same world as her. If you dare affect her Dao heart, I'll definitely kill you. As soon as Lu Shuang finished speaking, she unsheathed the sword on her back. It emitted a chilling sword qi, and a white streak flashed in front of Ling Xiao. Rumble. The stone table in front of Ling Xiao was instantly reduced to dust. Ling Xiao was still smiling, but there was a trace of coldness in his eyes. He said indifferently, "Is this a warning?" "You can understand it that way." Lu Shuang said indifferently. She raised her head high like a proud swan and said, "You're not from the same world as Shui? You shouldn't have appeared, but I won't chase you away. You can recuperate in Xian Pin tribe, but I hope that you won't see Shui again." Not from the same world. That's right. We're not from the same world. Ling Xiao smiled faintly, and there was a trace of resplendent sharpness in his eyes. When Lu Shuang met Ling Xiao's gaze, she actually felt as if she had been seen through. She couldn't help but tremble. But then she became angry from embarrassment. "Don't worry. I won't affect Shui. I'm only staying to repay her kindness. After a month, I will naturally leave." Although he was a little displeased, he did not say anything on account of the relationship between Lu Shuang and Shui. "All right, I hope you will keep your promise." Lu Shuang took a deep look at Ling Xiao, turned around and left. The Xianke tribe was in an uproar because of the fact that Lu Shui had the Xianpin body. However, the fact that the Xianyuan fruit was about to ripen also caused the undercurrent of the entire Xianpin tribe to surge. Originally, with the Xianpin tribe's strength, they wouldn't have been able to preserve the Xianyuan holy tree. However, the Xianyuan holy tree couldn't be transplanted, and only the Xianpin tribe's secret method could allow it to grow. Therefore, even the profound light city did not have any ideas about the Xianyuan holy tree. However, the profound origin fruit only matured once every 100 years, and every time it bore 30 profound origin fruits, half of them would be taken away by profound light city. Coupled with the coercion and trickery of the surrounding tribes, in the end, profound Pin tribe would only have a few profound origin fruits left in their hands. This was definitely a great humiliation for the Xianpin tribe. However, the strength of the Xianpin tribe was too weak to protect such a precious treasure, so they could only grit their teeth and swallow it. Now the profound origin fruit that only matured once every 100 years was about to mature. Thinking about the upcoming arrival of Profound Light City and the various tribes, the people of the Xianpin tribe were both angry and sad. However, this time Lu Zhongtian and the various elders of the tribe had already decided to give in. They had pinned their hopes on Lu Shuer. As long as Lu Shuer could become a supreme, there would be a day when they would get back what they had lost. Lu Shuer lived up to everyone's expectations. After a month of seclusion, she had broken through from the first level of the true energy realm to the 9th level of the true energy realm in one fell swoop. Moreover, with the support of countless treasures, she had broken through to the spirit transformation realm. This terrifying cultivation speed made Lu Zhongtian and the various elders very excited. Even the high priest had personally appeared to guide Lu Shuer's cultivation. In such a state, Ling Xiao seemed to have been forgotten by everyone. Aside from Lu Shuang's warning, neither Lu Zhongtian nor Lu Shuer appeared again. During this month, Ling Xiao would appear once a day in search of the Yellow Springs sacred river. He would devour the power of life and death to heal his injuries, allowing him to effectively control the injuries in his body. After a month, the profound origin fruit had finally matured. The profound origin sacred tree was located in the center of the Xianpin tribe and was guarded by many of the tribe's elders. It was an ancient tree that was hundreds of feet tall. Its entire body emitted a green light, and its branches were twisted like coiling old dragons. Its leaves were sparkling and translucent, and it emitted a majestic aura of life. On the profound origin sacred tree, there were 30 profound origin fruits that emitted a green light. The profound origin fruits were the size of a fist and filled with green light. There were mysterious runes on them, and they emitted a faint fragrance. The profound origin fruit has finally matured. What a pity! A Xianpin tribe elder looked at the 30 profound origin fruits, and his eyes revealed both joy and sorrow. Most of these 30 profound origin fruits would probably fall into the hands of others. Whoosh! The distant sky shook while dazzling light flashed. A crimson gold chariot soared through the sky, and it was pulled by 9 black WYRMS that emanated an extremely formidable aura. Those WYRMS were actually all demon emperors. A young man in green armor sat cross-legged on the chariot. His black hair hung loosely behind him while his eyes were like bolts of lightning. He seemed extraordinarily handsome, and his gaze was filled with indifference. He was at the 9th rank of the monarch realm, and there were 2 black-robed old men on both sides of the chariot. Their auras were terrifying, and they were both quasi-exalts. That's the eldest young master of Darklight City, Wang Yunyang? I never expected that he would actually come to the Xianpin tribe himself. Everyone quickly follow me to welcome him. A bright glow flashed through Lu Zhongtian's eyes, and he revealed a trace of shock. He hurriedly called out to the elders of the tribe to welcome Wang Yunyang. Young Master Wang. Young Master Wang's arrival brings light to our Xianpin tribe. Young Master, please come in. Lu Zhongtian revealed a trace of respect as he spoke. Lu Zhongtian, where are the profound origin fruits? Just like before, hand over 15 profound origin fruits and this young master will leave immediately. Wang Yunyang glanced indifferently at Lu Zhongtian. Young Master Wang, the profound origin fruits are about to mature. However, my master, Madame Xinghua, will be here soon. She wants to see you, so please wait for a moment. Lu Shuang also bowed and said with a smile, thank you. Lu Shuang, your looks aren't bad, but unfortunately, your natural talent is mediocre. You're saying that Madame Xinghua of the Sky Fragrance sect wants to see me? Since it's like that, then this young master will wait for a moment. Chapter 893. Lu Shuang's face was a little ugly, but she still forced a smile and said, thank you, young Master Wang. Please. Accompanied by Lu Zhongtian and many elders, Wang Yunyang came to the Xianyuan holy tree, where tables and chairs were already prepared. Wang Yunyang glanced at everyone and his eyes flashed. Lu Zhongtian, I heard that your tribe's Lu Shuer has extraordinary talent. Why don't you bring her out for this young master to see? Lu Zhongtian and many elders looked nervous and quickly said, young Master Wang must be joking. Shuer's aptitude is dull, and she's still young. She doesn't dare to come out and offend young Master Wang. Lu Shui was already regarded as the hope of the Xianyuan Pin tribe, and could not have any accidents. If Wang Yunyang took a fancy to Lu Shui, it would be troublesome. So no matter what, Wang Yunyang could not see Lu Shui. Patriarch, what you said is wrong, right? Miss Shui has clearly awakened the Xianyuan Pin physique, and is a 1 in a million cultivation genius. How dare you hide it from young Master Wang? At this moment, the commander of the Xianyuan Pin tribe, Wang Chao, sneered. Wang Chao, how dare you? Lu Zhongtian's eyes showed a trace of anger and killing intent as he stared at Wang Chao. Lu Zhongtian, Wang Chao is a person of my Xianyuan Pin city. It's your blessing to be able to come to your Xianyuan Pin tribe as a commander. But you hid Lu Shui's cultivation talent. Do you not put my Xianyuan Pin city in your eyes? Wang Yunyang glanced at Lu Zhongtian indifferently. Lu Zhongtian hurriedly said, Young Master Wang Shui's aptitude is dull. I dare not offend young Master Wang. Moreover, Shui is still in seclusion and can't come out to meet guests. Wang Chao sneered and said, Patriarch, you're lying, right? Why do I remember that Miss Shui just came out of seclusion today and seemed to have gone to that kid called Ling Xiao? Young Master, I'm willing to bring Miss Shui here. I believe that young Master will not be disappointed when he sees Miss Shui's talent. Wang Chao, you betray us. Get out of here. You are not welcome in the Xianyuan Pin tribe. Lu Shui's face pale. She stared angrily at Wang Chao. Haha, what's there to stay in the Xianyuan Pin tribe for? You don't. I'll return to Xianyuan Pin city today. Said sneered. Alright. Don't quarrel. Wang Chao, bring Lu Shui here for me to see. Wang Yunyang opened his mouth, his eyes revealing a trace of indifference. Yes. Wang Chao laughed coldly. He turned around and led a group of guards towards Ling Zhao's courtyard. Lu Zhongtian, Lu Shuang, and the other elders all turned pale in an instant. In the courtyard where Ling Xiao was. When Wang Yunyang came to the Xianpin tribe, Ling Xiao already knew, but he did not care. After Lu Shui finished her closed-door cultivation, she immediately came back to see Ling Xiao. After not seeing her for a month, Lu Shui had become even more ethereal, like a swaying red lotus. Her appearance was beautiful, and her temperament was extraordinary. After the awakening of the Xuanqiu physique, she had an even more peerless temperament, like a goddess descending from the 9 heavens. Moreover, Lu Shui's cultivation had reached the 3rd level of the spirit transformation realm. Big brother Ling Xiao, I missed you so much. Lu Shui's big eyes sparkled, and her face was full of excitement. She pounced forward and hugged Ling Xiao. Shui is done with her closed-door cultivation? I didn't expect Shui's talent to be so amazing. Ling Xiao stroked Shui's hair and said with a smile, Big brother Ling Xiao, the elders all said that I will be the female sovereign of the Xianpin tribe. When I become stronger, I will definitely protect big brother Ling Xiao. Lu Shui said with a face full of determination. Okay, big brother will wait. Ling Xiao smiled. At this moment, the door of the courtyard was kicked to pieces. Boom. Wang Chao exuded an incomparably cold aura. He walked in with a group of guards wearing armor like wolves and tigers. Brat, Lu Shui is the woman that the young master has taken a fancy to. Is she someone you can touch? Get out of my way, or don't blame me for being impolite. When Wang Chao saw Lu Shui in Ling Zhao's arms, a cold smile appeared in his eyes. Wang Chao, you dare to barge in? Do you even know etiquette? I will let grandfather punish you. Now get out of my way. Lu Shui's face also turned cold as she glared at Wang Chao. A trace of cold light appeared in Ling Zhao's eyes as well. Wang Chao laughed coldly and said, Lu Shui, don't try to show off in front of me. Let me tell you the truth. Young Master Wang Yunyang has taken a fancy to you, so you are his woman from now on. Come with me. Don't make the young master wait for too long. Wang Yunyang? Lu Shui's face instantly turned extremely pale. She naturally knew who Wang Yunyang was. He was the junior city governor of Profound Light City, the favorite son of the Profound Light Exalt. His natural talent was peerless, and it was said that he had cultivated to the 9th level of the monarch realm. If he took a fancy to her, then who could save Shui? Fuck off. Ling Xiao spoke indifferently. Brat, you're courting death. Killing intent flashed through Wang Chao's eyes. He had disliked Ling Xiao since a long time ago, but he hadn't expected that Ling Xiao would actually dare to be so arrogant. Rumble. Wang Chao slapped his palm down, and a terrifying palm of true energy condensed in midair, and emanated an extremely powerful pressure. Wang Chao, stop. Big brother Ling Xiao, quickly dodge. Lu Xuan's face was pale, and she spoke with extreme rage and anxiousness. She was only at the spirit transformation realm, so how could she possibly resist Wang Chao's imposing aura? Moreover, Ling Xiao didn't possess any cultivation, so he would probably be killed on the spot if he was struck by Wang Chao's palm. Ling Xiao's gaze was calm as he swung his palm. Slap! Wang Chao's powerful palm of true energy was actually slapped into pieces by Ling Xiao, and Ling Xiao's palm didn't lose momentum at all, and actually slapped Wang Chao's face. A clear and melodious sound resounded, and it was accompanied by Wang Chao's shrill cry. Half of his face had been shattered by Ling Xiao, and his figure was instantly blasted flying. All the guards were flabbergasted. Lu Xuer was flabbergasted as well. Ling Xiao, who seemed extremely weak, actually slapped Wang Chao flying with a single slap? How could this be possible? Even though Wang Chao's cultivation wasn't the strongest, he was still at the first level of the monarch realm, yet he was actually slapped flying by Ling Xiao. Could it be that Ling Xiao was concealing his cultivation? Xuer, are you afraid? Ling Xiao didn't even spare a glance at Wang Chao, and he grinned as he spoke. Big brother Ling Xiao, you're so strong. I'm not afraid with you by my side. Lu Xuer recovered from her shock, and she revealed an extremely reverent expression in her eyes. That's good. Let's go see what qualifications that fellow called Wang Yunyang has to dare to take you away. Ling Xiao smiled faintly, and then he left the courtyard with Lu Xuer. Chapter 894. Bastard. Come with me. I must let the young master kill this little bastard. If I don't avenge him, I'm not a man. Wang Chao's eyes were filled with resentment. His face was dripping with blood, making him look extremely ferocious. At the location of the Xianyuan sacred tree, an old lady in palace attire was holding a dragon-headed walking stick. She had a ruddy complexion and white hair, and her aura was very powerful. Her clothes were printed with apricot flowers. She was the supreme elder of the Tianxiang sect, Madame Xinghua. Madame Xinghua brought a few young men and women to the Xianyuan Pin tribe. They were also received by Lu Zhongtian and Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang, in particular, was full of hope and confidence after seeing Madame Xinghua. In addition to Madame Xinghua, there were 9 other figures with powerful auras. They were accompanied by a group of armored warriors riding powerful demonic beasts. Their eyes were like lightning, and their cultivation was unparalleled. Their bodies exuded a monstrous aura. The 9 figures were from the tribes near the Xianyuan Pin tribe. They were extremely powerful. Every time the Xianyuan fruit ripened, they would come to take a share. With the arrival of the Xianyuan Pin tribe, the Tianxiang sect, and the 9 tribes, the atmosphere of the entire Xianyuan Pin tribe became extremely tense. The experts of the Xianyuan Pin tribe were on high alert. For the sake of Madame Xinghua, the 9 tribes only want 9 Xianyuan fruits this time. Patriarch Lu, take out the Xianyuan fruits, and we will leave immediately. Among the 9 tribes, a muscular man wearing a tiger skin stood out. His eyes flashed with a sharp light. What's the matter? He was Lin Hu, the patriarch of the ferocious tiger tribe. He was a half-step supreme being with a powerful aura. Since Madame Xinghua has come personally, the Xianyuan Pin tribe has to give her face. How about this? I've decided to give up 5 Xianyuan fruits. The Xianyuan Pin tribe only wants 10. Wang Yunyang said with a faint smile. Lu Zhongtian and the other elders were both happy and sad. They were happy because they could finally leave behind a few more profound origin fruits this year, but they were sad because the profound origin fruits were originally the treasures of the Xianpin tribe, but they had no choice but to share it with them. The Xianpin tribe had to pretend to be grateful. Thank you. In that case, when the Xianyuan fruits ripened, we will distribute them according to this plan. Lu Zhongtian forced a smile. After speaking, Lu Zhongtian turned to Madame Xinghua and said respectfully, Thank you, Madame Xinghua. To express our gratitude, we are willing to offer you 5 xianyuan fruits. We hope that you will accept them. A glint flashed across Madame Xinghua's eyes, and she said with a slight smile, Patriarch Lu is too courteous. There's no need for the profound origin fruit. This time, this old one has come here to discuss a matter with Patriarch Lu. Oh, Madam, what's the matter? Lu Zhongtian asked doubtfully. This is my grandson Xinglin. I want to ask Patriarch Lu for a marriage and betroth Shuang'er to Xinglin. What do you think? Madame Xinghua said with a faint smile. From behind Madame Xinghua, a fat man in a green robe walked out. He stared at Lu Shuang'er with a silly smile, saliva dripping from his mouth. What? Lu Shuang'er's body trembled, and her face instantly turned pale. Xinglin was Madame Xinghua's only grandson, but he was born with a mental disability. Even if the sect master of the Sky Fragrance sect personally treated him, there was no way to cure him. Her master, who had always doted on her, actually wanted her to marry her mentally disabled grandson? Lu Shuang'er's eyes were filled with disbelief, and she immediately looked at Lu Zhongtian with a pleading look. Lu Zhongtian naturally knew about Xinglin's situation. The anger in his heart rose sharply, but he still resisted and said, Madam, you must be joking. How can Shuang'er be worthy of young Master Xinglin? I think this marriage. But before Lu Zhongtian could finish his words, he was interrupted by someone. Ha ha ha. Patriarch Lu, this is really worthy of celebration. Your granddaughter and young Master Xinglin are a match made in heaven. It is Shuang'er's fortune to be able to marry young Master Xinglin, and also the fortune of your Xianpin tribe. Why don't you agree quickly? Lin Hu's eyes revealed a trace of mockery as he said with a slight smile. That's right. I also feel that Shuang'er and young Master Xinglin are very suitable. Patriarch Lu, don't decline. They are a match made in heaven. Looks like Patriarch Lu is going to hold a wedding banquet soon. When the time comes, you must treat me to a drink. The experts of the other tribes also said with a smile, but one look and one could tell that they did not have good intentions. Lu Zhongtian and the elders of the Xianpin tribe were livid. Marrying Lu Shuang'er to the retarded Xinglin would not only destroy Lu Shuang'er, but would also be a great humiliation to the Xianpin tribe. Madam, I think Shuang'er is not worthy of young Master Xinglin. Let's forget about this matter. Lu Zhongtian suppressed his anger, but his voice had become somewhat cold. A cold light flashed in Madame Xinghua's eyes, and she said coldly, Oh, does Patriarch Lu think that my grandson is not worthy of Shuang'er? I don't dare. Shuang'er is not worthy of young Master Xinglin. Moreover, Shuang'er should be the one to decide who she wants to marry. As her grandfather, I dare not make the decision for her. Lu Zhongtian said faintly. He could also see that Madame Xinghua's purpose in coming to the Xianpin tribe was not simple. She had come for Lu Shuang'er. If he did not agree, he was afraid that he would really offend Madame Xinghua. However, he did not want Lu Shuang'er's happiness to be destroyed, so he had to refuse even if he had to offend Madame Xinghua. Master, did Shuang'er do something wrong? Lu Shuang'er's face was pale as she looked at Madame Xinghua in a daze. Shuang'er, you are Master's favorite disciple. As long as you marry Xinglin, the Tianxiang sect will be the strong backing of the Xianpin tribe in the future. I hope that you will think about it carefully and not make a mistake. Madame Xinghua looked at Lu Shuang'er expressionlessly as she spoke. There is no need to think about it. The Xianpin tribe rejects this matter. Lu Zhongtian stood out and said firmly, Lu Zhongtian, have you really thought about it carefully? Madame Xinghua's face turned cold. She could cover the sky with one hand in the Tianxiang sect, and even the sect master had to give in to her. However, she had been rejected by Lu Zhongtian again and again today, which immediately made her angry. Boom! A powerful aura emanated from Madame Xinghua's body. Her eyes were cold as she stared at Lu Zhongtian. The powerful aura pressed down as if it wanted to force Lu Zhongtian to his knees. Lu Zhongtian's face instantly turned pale. His entire body was trembling. That majestic pressure was like a huge mountain, forcing him to kneel down. Lu Zhongtian was only at the 9th rank of the monarch realm, but Madame Xinghua was a quasi-exalt who had overcome the tribulation of 4 symbols. She possessed a portion of the exalt's aura, and her cultivation was unfathomable. Even Lu Zhongtian was slightly unable to resist her aura. "Grandfather, what's wrong?" "Old woman, don't bully my grandfather." Lu Shui appeared, and she hurriedly ran over when she saw Lu Zhongtian's current state. Her face was covered in extreme anxiety and rage as she pointed at Madame Xinghua and spoke furiously. Chapter 895. Madame Xinghua was the supreme elder of the Tianxiang sect. She was in a high position, second only to the Tianxiang sect. However, she was nearing the end of her life. Her appearance was old, and her temperament had become very strange. She hated being called an old woman. Lu Shui's words had offended Madame Xinghua. The people of the 9 tribes all had gloating expressions on their faces. As for Lu Zhongtian and the other elders, their faces instantly turned incomparably pale. Madame Xinghua was expressionless, but her cold aura showed that she was angry. "Little girl, what did you say?" Madame Xinghua's eyes were cold. "Master, please forgive me. Shui doesn't know her limits. Please don't lower yourself to her level. Shuang apologizes to you." Lu Shuang quickly knelt before Madame Xinghua. Her eyes were full of anxiety. Lu Shui seemed to know that she had made a big mistake, but she still raised her head and said stubbornly, "Why did you bully my grandfather? Why should my sister marry your stupid grandson? I don't agree. No one is allowed to force my sister." "Shui, don't say any more. Kneel down and apologize to master." Lu Shuang was anxious and said quickly. She was afraid that Madame Xinghua would be angry and kill Lu Shui. It's the Xianpin body." Wang Yunyang's eyes flashed when he saw Lu Shui. Instantly they became hot. "Madam, can you give me some face?" Wang Yunyang suddenly said. Madame Xinghua's eyes flashed. Seeing that it was Wang Yunyang, she said faintly, "Oh, does young Master Wang want to protect Lu Shui?" Lu Shui? Offended Madam. "It's indeed wrong. However, she is of great use to me. I hope Madam can hand her over to me." Wang Yunyang smiled faintly. Lu Zhongtian, Lu Shuang, and the others thought that Wang Yunyang was going to plead for Lu Shui. They did not expect Wang Yunyang to say such words. Their expressions suddenly changed. "Lu Zhongtian, as long as you hand Lu Shui over to me, I don't want 10 Xian Yuan fruits. Moreover, my profound light city will protect your Xianpin tribe in the future. How about it?" Wang Yunyang looked at Lu Zhongtian and said, "This is impossible." Lu Zhongtian flatly refused. He didn't think that Wang Yunyang would actually have designs on Lu Shui. Lu Zhongtian had already guessed that Wang Yunyang probably already saw through Lu Shui's Xianpin body. Those with the Xianpin body were not only natural-born martial arts geniuses, but they were also excellent cauldrons. If one were to pluck a woman with the Xianpin body, they would be able to instantly break through to the next realm. It was extremely beneficial. Lu Zhongtian was afraid of this before, so he didn't want Wang Yunyang to see Lu Shui, but he didn't expect Wang Yunyang to see through it. If Shui were to fall into Wang Yunyang's hands, her fate could be imagined. Since Lord Wang likes this girl, this old one will naturally give you face and not punish her. Madame Xinghua said indifferently. She turned to look at Lu Zhongtian and said, "Lu Zhongtian, I'll give you a chance. Give Lu Shui to young Master Wang and let Lu Shuang marry my grandson Xinglin. In the future, Profound Light City and Heavenly Fragrance Sect will be the strong backing of your Profound Pin tribe. How about it?" "I agree," Wang Yunyang said with a smile. Lu Shui and Lu Shuang's faces instantly became incomparably pale. They didn't expect that the two of them had already become fish on the chopping board, and could only be slaughtered. The faces of the people of the 9 tribes changed. If the Profound Beauty tribe had the backing of Profound Light City and Heavenly Fragrance Sect, perhaps the Profound Pin tribe would really rise. However, would Lu Zhongtian really agree to their request? The faces of the people of the Profound Pin tribe became incomparably ugly. Madame Xinghua's words were equivalent to giving the Profound Beauty tribe an ultimatum. If they didn't agree to their request, perhaps the entire Profound Pin tribe would be destroyed today. Madame Xinghua alone could kill the entire Profound Pin tribe. Lu Zhongtian's face instantly became incomparably old. His eyes were filled with incomparable pain. He wanted to directly refuse, but he was the patriarch of the Profound Pin tribe. Could it be that because of him, hundreds of thousands of people of the Profound Beauty tribe would die here? Lu Zhongtian understood the expressions on the faces of many elders. They wanted to hand over Lu Shui, and Lu Shuang, but they didn't say it out loud. Everyone's eyes fell on Lu Zhongtian. Ling Xiao also looked at Lu Zhongtian indifferently, wanting to see what decision he would make. After a long time, Lu Zhongtian seemed to have made up his mind. Just as he was about to speak, a voice suddenly interrupted him. I agree. Lu Shui, small face was pale, but her eyes were firm as she looked at Wang Yunyang. The people of the Profound Pin tribe were shocked. Some looked at the thin figure of Lu Shui, in disbelief, but their eyes revealed a look of relief. Lu Zhongtian's face instantly became incomparably pale. His whole body trembled. He wanted to say something, but in the end, it turned into a long sigh. His expression became incomparably bleak. Even Lu Shuang looked at Lu Shui, in disbelief. Her face was incomparably pale. At this time Lu Shui, looked stronger than ever. However, her frail figure looked as if she had been abandoned by the entire world. Very good. Shui, your choice is very wise. Don't worry, this young master will love you well. Ha ha. Wang Yunyang laughed heartily. He stretched out his hand and grabbed at Lu Shui. Lu Shui, gently closed her eyes. Her long eyelashes trembled slightly, and a crystal-clear teardrop streaked across her face. Goodbye, grandfather. Goodbye, sister. Goodbye, brother Ling Xiao. At this moment, the faces of all the people of the Profound Pin tribe were filled with anger and sorrow. In the end, they could only sigh. Their fingernails dug deep into their palms. Suddenly, a figure blocked in front of Lu Shui. Want to take Shui away? Have you asked me? A faint voice rang in everyone's ears, but it carried an aura of arrogance. Lu Shui, suddenly opened her eyes. Looking at the figure in front of her, she was stunned. Brother Ling Xiao? Ling Xiao was dressed in white. His white hair fluttered in the wind. Although he looked very thin and haggard, his body was as straight as a sword. His eyes were incomparably bright, giving people a sense of security that could support the heavens. Ling Xiao, Lu Zhongtian and Lu Shuang were stunned. No one thought that Ling Xiao would actually make a move at this time. You're courting death. Killing intent flashed in Wang Yunyang's eyes. The palm print suddenly sped up. It contained traces of black destructive power, as if it was going to smash Ling Xiao into powder. Chapter 896. Swoosh. Ling Xiao's expression was calm as he stretched out a translucent finger. It was like a pillar of the heavens that emanated a peerlessly powerful aura, and it instantly shattered the palm that was heading towards him. Lu Zhongtian, could it be that your Pine tribe really intends to go against me? There was surprise and bewilderment in Wang Yunyang's eyes. He hadn't expected that Ling Xiao would actually be able to break through his attack with such ease. However, this young man before him doesn't seem to possess any cultivation at all. How did he do it? Young master, you have to uphold justice for me. His name is Ling Xiao, and he isn't from the Pine tribe at all. I saw him hugging Lu Shui just now, and he actually injured me. Young master, you have to kill him. Wang Chao ran over in an extremely sorry state. Half his face was swollen, and he gazed at Ling Xiao with extreme resentment. Ling Xiao, leave right now. Are you trying to get us killed? Lu Shuang, gazed at Ling Xiao with extreme anxiety. Young Master Ling, you should move aside. You're not a match for them. This is Shui's fate, and we can't do anything about it. Lu Zhongtian's face was covered in pain. You want to leave? You injured one of my men, and even want to take Lu Shui away? Kid, you're really arrogant. Wang Yunyang's eyes were filled with killing intent as he walked slowly towards Ling Xiao. His entire body emanated extremely terrifying killing intent, and his cultivation at the 9th rank of the monarch realm caused countless members of the Pine tribe to tremble. With Wang Yunyang's cultivation at such a young age, he could indeed be regarded as a god's favored one. However, Ling Xiao seemed extremely ordinary when compared to Wang Yunyang, and it was to the point that everyone thought it was an illusion when he blocked Wang Yunyang's attack. I'm Shui's big brother. No one can take Shui or away while I'm here. Ling Xiao spoke calmly. Lu Shuer stared blankly at Ling Xiao's back, while 2 streams of tears flowed down her cheeks. But she felt extremely at ease. Only Ling Xiao's big brother was still protecting her when the entire world had abandoned her. Then let's see if you have the strength to do so. Wang Yunyang sneered and threw a punch at Ling Xiao. Cold evil spirit filled the air, and his fist print condensed into a giant black snake, pouncing on Ling Xiao. Is this Lord Wang's soaring serpent Dharma form? Looks like Ling Xiao is in danger. This kid actually dares to offend young Master Wang. He really doesn't know what's good for him. The eyes of the people from the 9 tribes flashed as they sneered. They thought that Ling Xiao was dead for sure. Ling Xiao's gaze was very calm. He still simply pointed out with his finger. Boom. The golden light shone brightly. Ling Xiao's finger was like a heavenly pillar. It directly soared into the sky, containing an unparalleled power. It instantly pierced through the fist print, and its momentum did not diminish. It directly landed on Wang Yunyang's arm. What? Wang Yunyang's expression changed greatly. He felt an unparalleled divine power attacking him. His arm actually exploded with a loud bang. Wang Yunyang screamed miserably, and was instantly sent flying hundreds of feet away, and severely smashed into the ground in the distance, and directly smashed open a big pit. Everyone was stunned. Originally, everyone thought that Ling Xiao was dead for sure. Who would have thought that Ling Xiao would only use 1 finger to seriously injure Wang Yunyang? Could it be that this kid was hiding his cultivation? Everyone's eyes were incomparably shocked, and all of them fell on Ling Xiao. Lu Zhongtian and Lu Shuang'er were also stunned. Especially Lu Shuang'er, who thought that Ling Xiao had no cultivation at all. She never thought that Ling Xiao's strength would be so strong. Bastard, kill him for me, kill him. Wang Yunyang's eyes were filled with incomparable madness as he pointed at Ling Xiao and roared. He could not believe that he could not even withstand 1 finger from Ling Xiao. This was simply a great humiliation for him, who had always been confident. Whoosh! Whoosh! The eyes of the 2 old men who came with Wang Yunyang flashed with murderous intent, and they rushed toward Ling Xiao. A powerful and unparalleled aura spread out. The 2 old men turned out to be half-step supremes who had gone through the 3 divine tribulations. They had 3 flowers above their heads, and their strength was unparalleled. Not good. Little friend Ling Xiao, run. Lu Zhongtian's expression changed greatly, and he hurriedly shouted. Even if Ling Xiao could defeat Wang Yunyang, he was afraid that he would not be a match for the 2 half-step supremes. Moreover, there was a Real Supreme behind Wang Yunyang. Want to run? You will definitely die if you hurt our young master. The 2 old men looked sinister. Even they did not expect that Ling Xiao would be able to injure Wang Yunyang with 1 move. They could not even protect him in time. If they could not kill Ling Xiao, they would not be able to bear the blame when Wang Yunyang blamed them. It's over, it's over. Ling Xiao, you have brought disaster to our Xianpin tribe. Lu Shuang'er's eyes revealed a trace of despair. Wang Yunyang had suffered such a serious injury, and he would definitely not let it go. Perhaps he would vent his anger on the Xianpin tribe. Shuer, are you afraid? Ling Xiao did not even look at the 2 old men, and smiled slightly. With brother Ling Xiao here, I'm not afraid. Lu Shuer looked at Ling Xiao in a daze, and suddenly laughed. It was like a blooming flower, extremely brilliant. Shuer, look after brother Ling Xiao and kill these 2 bad guys. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Boom. Ling Xiao's body was surrounded by a golden glow, as if a golden sun had risen from his body. Golden blood energy permeated the air, accompanied by a powerful dragon roar that shook the 9 heavens. Ling Xiao's white robe was whiter than snow, and his hair danced in the wind. He was like a peerless divine king, emitting a dazzling light. He threw out a punch, and it soared into the sky. The unparalleled fist print was like an immemorial divine mountain, and it suppressed the 2 old men, containing the power to crush everything. Boom. The arms of the 2 old men instantly exploded into a mist of blood, and they let out miserable screams. Ah! Ling Xiao threw out both fists, and the golden light around him reached the extreme. It was like 2 golden suns, emitting endless brilliant light, and instantly imprinted on the 2 old men. Crack! The 2 old men trembled, and starting from their chests, their limbs, heads, and bodies instantly exploded into a mist of blood. The clouds in the sky dispersed, and the golden sun shone on the earth. Ling Xiao stood above the 9 heavens, like a peerless divine king who had descended to the mortal world, and his eyes were full of dazzling sharpness. At this moment, everyone was stunned. All the people of the Xianpin tribe had a look of disbelief in their eyes, as if they were dreaming. They could not believe what was happening in front of them. Wang Yunyang, who had been roaring crazily, suddenly stopped, and his eyes were filled with incomparable horror. Lu Zhongtian and Lu Shuanger were completely shocked, especially Lu Shuanger, whose ears seemed to be echoing what Ling Xiao had said before. Was Ling Xiao really a supreme being? Chapter 897. 2 half-step supreme beings who had passed the tribulation of 3 divine beasts had been killed by Ling Xiao with a single punch. Even a half-step supreme being who had passed the tribulation of 4 divine beasts wouldn't be able to do such a thing. Could Ling Xiao really be a supreme being? Thinking of this, Lu Shuanger's heart pounded violently. Lu Shuanger's eyes widened and her mouth dropped open. Her face was full of admiration. She didn't expect that brother Ling Xiao, who had a bright smile and looked very handsome, would have such a side to him. Killing 2 half-step supreme beings with a single punch, peerless and unparalleled. Ling Xiao's gaze was very calm as it fell on Wang Yunyang. Wang Yunyang's body trembled, and his eyes were full of fear. He hurriedly said, "Ling Xiao, you can't kill me. You can't kill me. My father is a mystic light supreme being. If you dare to kill me, he will definitely tear you into pieces." Wang Yunyang was completely afraid at this moment. He no longer had any thoughts of fighting with Ling Xiao. Killing 2 half-step supreme beings with a single punch. Killing Wang Yunyang with such combat strength was as easy as crushing an ant. Madame Xinghua's eyes were also full of shock. She stared at Ling Xiao and said, "Who are you? I can see that you don't have a trace of cultivation, but you can explode with such a strong physical strength. I'm afraid that you use some kind of secret technique, right? Today's matter ends here, and I can let you go. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite." Although Ling Xiao's battle prowess was very strong, Madame Xinghua's eyes were very sharp. With a glance, she could see that Ling Xiao's body did not have the slightest fluctuation of cultivation. It was purely the strength of his physical body. Therefore, she suspected that Ling Xiao was some kind of powerful demonic beast. And here? Why didn't you leave some leeway when you threatened the Xianpin tribe? There's no need to say more. All of you can come together. All of you will die. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of killing intent. Since he had made a move, he had to do it. Otherwise, even if these people backed down, the Xianpin tribe would be the one to suffer after Ling Xiao left. Since Ling Xiao had decided to help Lu Shuer, he had to help her get rid of all future troubles. Ling Xiao, you're too arrogant. Could it be that you think you can contend against my Sky Incense sect and Profound Light City by yourself? Madame Xinghua's eyes turned cold, revealing a trace of coldness. Although she was wary of Ling Xiao's battle prowess, she did not think that Ling Xiao had the power to crush her. She was confident that if she wanted to escape, Ling Xiao would not be able to stop her. "Die," Ling Xiao said indifferently as a punch came through the air. The golden fist was like a brilliant sun, exuding a heavy and imposing aura as it pressed down on Madame Xinghua. Even though Ling Xiao was severely injured, he could still defeat all half-step supremes with the strength of his flesh alone. Madame Xinghua's expression changed instantly when she sensed the terrifying power contained in the punch. Infinite heavenly fragrance, myriad transformations. Dharma King, block it for me. Madame Xinghua roared. In an instant, a pink aura filled the air around her. Runes gathered in the void and turned into a huge Dharma idol that was over 100 feet tall. It had 3 heads and 6 arms and looked extremely ferocious. It then charged towards Ling Xiao. This was the Dharma idol that Madame Xinghua had condensed. She was confident that she could hold on for a moment even if she encountered a supreme being. An ancient void talisman appeared in Madame Xinghua's hand. She tore the void apart and tried to escape. She looked at Ling Xiao with resentment. She knew that she was no match for Ling Xiao. However, as long as she returned to Sky Incense sect and asked the sect master for help, Ling Xiao would definitely die. Boom. Ling Xiao looked indifferent as he threw out a punch. It was as if the entire world was shrouded by the fist. It was extremely terrifying. The Dharma idol of myriad transformations Dharma King was blasted apart by Ling Xiao's punch. It turned into a dazzling rain of light that shook the surroundings. When Madame Xinghua saw this, she was scared out of her wits. She wanted to escape without thinking. Destroy. Ling Xiao spat out a single word indifferently. This punch of his was indomitable and imprinted on the void. Instantly, the void shattered and the heavens and earth were destroyed. The teleportation power of the void talisman on Madame Xinghua was broken apart by Ling Xiao directly. Puff. Madame Xinghua spurted out a mouthful of blood and flew out from the void. Her hair was disheveled and her face was pale. Her eyes were filled with terror. Seeing Madame Xinghua in this state, Lu Shuang'er felt relieved. However, she still could not bear to see her like this. Ling Xiao, you can't kill me. The sect master of Sky Incense Sect is a supreme being. If you kill me, the sect master will not let you off. Madame Xinghua's voice was sharp as she shouted. She was trying to put up a strong front. A supreme being? It's not like I haven't killed one before. Ling Xiao said indifferently. He pointed his finger across the sky. It was like a peerless sword aura that was sparkling and resplendent. It contained a sharp radiance that could pierce through everything and landed on Madame Xinghua's body. Boom. Countless runes on Madame Xinghua's body exploded. Many defensive treasures exploded. Even Madame Xinghua was blasted into a bloody mist. Her soul had completely dissipated. Everyone was numb. Even the experts of the 9 tribes were so frightened that they forgot to run away. Their bodies were shivering, and their eyes were filled with terror. Ling Xiao had killed a half-step supreme being. Even the powerful Madame Xinghua had died in his hands. They were no match for Ling Xiao. Wang Yunyang's scalp went numb, and his face turned pale. Swoosh. An ancient jade appeared in Wang Yunyang's hand. He clenched his teeth and crushed it. Radiance shone in the void. An illusory figure appeared in front of Wang Yunyang. It was a majestic middle-aged man. He had a powerful aura, and was exuding a supreme being's divine aura. This was a supreme being. That terrifying supreme being's divine aura spread out, causing everyone to tremble. They could not help but kneel down. Father, save me. He wants to kill me. Hurry up and kill him, kill him. Wang Yunyang's face was pale as he pointed at Ling Xiao. How dare you? A thunderous voice exploded in the void. That majestic middle-aged man was the ruler of Profound Light City. The Profound Light Supreme Being. He coldly glanced at Ling Xiao, revealing a trace of cold killing intent. You're just a mere primordial spirit. How dare you behave so atrociously in front of me? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed sharply. He immediately pointed out with a finger. At the same time, he activated a trace of the war god's force. This finger became indestructible and contained the power to destroy everything. The Profound Light Supreme Being's expression changed. He quickly said, "Fellow Taoist, please stop. As long as you let my son go, I will agree to all of your conditions." However, Ling Xiao's expression was still cold. His finger swept across the void. The war god's force erupted, and the Profound Light Supreme Being's illusory figure exploded in the void. Chapter 898. How dare you? Wang Yunyang's eyes were filled with disbelief. A mystic light sovereign was a true sovereign. He could suppress 1,000,000 miles of land. He was a well-deserved overlord with unfathomable divine power. Ling Xiao did not give him any face at all. Ling Xiao, you're dead. You're dead. My father will not let you go. Wang Yunyang suddenly roared with a crazed expression. Boom. Ling Xiao did not even look at him. A ray of sword qi shot out from his fingertip and split Wang Yunyang in half. His primordial spirit was completely shattered and he died. Ling Xiao, you devil. The sect master will not let you go. Go to hell. The remaining disciples of the Sky Fragrance sect knew that they had no hope of survival. Their eyes were filled with the desire to die as they rushed towards Ling Xiao. Swoosh. 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 With a flick of Ling Xiao's finger, a few streaks of golden sword qi swept across the sky and instantly slaughtered all the disciples of the Tianxiang sect. Even Madame Xinghua's foolish grandson, Xinglin, was slain by Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao stood in the air with an extraordinary temperament. His eyes were sharp and his white hair fluttered in the wind. He was like a true god. The experts of the Mystic Light sect and Sky Fragrance sect were all killed by Ling Xiao. Everyone's heart was in turmoil. They knew that something big was about to happen. Wang Yunyang was the favorite son of the Mystic Light Sovereign, and Madame Xinghua was the senior sister of the Sky Fragrance Sovereign. These two supreme beings would arrive soon. At that time, not only would Ling Xiao die, but the entire Xianpin tribe would be destroyed by the supreme being's anger. Although the experts of the 9 tribes were respectful on the surface, they were gloating in their hearts. They all hoped that Ling Xiao would die soon. "Brother Ling Xiao, you should leave now." Lu Xuaner's eyes revealed a trace of worry as she hurriedly said. "That's right. Little friend Ling, we're grateful that you've helped our Xianpin tribe. However, the strength of the Mystic Light Sovereign and Sky Fragrance Sovereign is extremely terrifying. They're considered the strongest in the entire Chujiang region. You're definitely not their match. Leave now. It'll be too late if you don't leave now." Lu Zhongtian's eyes were also incomparably anxious as he hurriedly said. Lu Shuanger looked at Ling Xiao with a complicated gaze. She had always thought that Ling Xiao's origins were mysterious, and that it was very likely that he had ill intentions towards the Xianpin tribe. She had never thought that the one who saved the Xianpin tribe in the end would be Ling Xiao. If not for Ling Xiao, she would have been forced to marry Xinglin. Lu Shuanger had mixed feelings about Ling Xiao. Seeing that Lu Zhongtian and Lu Shui were sincerely thinking for him, Ling Xiao nodded inwardly. However, he still smiled faintly. "If I leave, aren't you afraid that Supreme Xianguang and Supreme Tianxiang will vent their anger on the Xianpin tribe?" "Young friend Ling, the two supremes might not vent their anger on the Xianpin tribe, but if you don't leave, you'll definitely die." Lu Zhongtian sighed lightly. Lu Shui also said anxiously, "Big brother Ling Xiao, leave quickly." "Shui doesn't want you to die, Shui, or wants you to live." "What a silly girl." Ling Xiao rubbed Lu Shui's little head and sighed softly. "Don't worry. Even if Supreme Xianguang and Supreme Tianxiang come together, I won't be afraid. Ling Xiao, if you don't leave now, it'll really be too late," Lu Shuanger said with a complicated expression. Boom. However, the void suddenly split open, and an extremely terrifying aura spread out, causing the heavens and earth to tremble. A middle-aged man in a black robe walked out from the void. Black lightning spread out around him, and the terrifying aura of a supreme spread out, causing everyone to tremble. "Supreme Xianguang. We're finished." Lu Zhongtian's face was extremely pale, and a trace of despair appeared in his eyes. The many elders and tribesmen of the Xianpin tribe were also trembling, and fear appeared on their faces. With the arrival of a Supreme Xianguang, not only would Ling Xiao die, but the entire Xianpin tribe would also be destroyed. "You're Ling Xiao, the one who killed my son? How dare you?" Supreme Xianguang's eyes were cold as he stared at Ling Xiao. "You're the Supreme Xianguang? A second-level Supreme Realm cultivation is really weak." Ling Xiao smiled faintly, and a trace of sharpness appeared in his eyes. "Brat, you're very arrogant. When I catch you later, I'll crush all the bones in your body, peel off your tendons, and burn your primordial spirit with the netherworld flame. Let's see if you still dare to be so arrogant then." Supreme Xianguang laughed out of anger, and a trace of cold killing intent appeared in his eyes. Crack. At this moment, a pink light flickered in the void, and a middle-aged woman in a pink dress appeared in the void. She looked to be in her 30s, and her face was extremely beautiful. Her skin was whiter than snow, and her figure was extremely hot. Her twin peaks were tall and straight, revealing a white cleavage. Her slender waist and slender legs were faintly discernible under the light veil of her pink dress, causing one's blood to boil. She had a pair of large eyes that could steal souls, and her entire body exuded an endless charm. She had a mature temperament, and she exuded a myriad of charm. "Little brother, are you the one who killed my good-for-nothing senior sister? You look really handsome. Big sister really can't bear to kill you. Why don't you come back with me to the Sky Fragrance sect to have some fun?" The middle-aged woman looked straight at Ling Xiao and giggled. "Even Supreme Tianxiang is here? This time, Ling Xiao is really dead. That's right. Supreme Tianxiang is even more terrifying than a Supreme Xianguang. I heard that she eats people without spitting out their bones. Now that Ling Xiao has been targeted by her, I'm afraid he won't have any chance of survival. Isn't that right? With two Supremes attacking, even if Ling Xiao is a Supreme, he'll have to bear a grudge. Not to mention that this brat doesn't even have the cultivation of a Supreme. He only has brute strength. The experts of the 9 tribes were whispering to each other, their eyes filled with gloating. Everyone in the Xianpin tribe was in complete despair. Especially Lu Zhongtian, Lu Shui, and Lu Shuang, All of their faces were pale, and they couldn't say a word. They didn't expect that Supreme Xianguang and Supreme Tianxiang would come together. With two Supremes attacking at the same time, Ling Xiao had no chance at all. It was a sure death situation. Supreme Tianxiang, Ling Xiao killed my son Yin Yang. He must die. I hope you can give me face and let me deal with him. Supreme Xianguang looked at Supreme Tianxiang solemnly. Facing Supreme Tianxiang, even Supreme Xianguang was incomparably fearful. Supreme Tianxiang's cultivation was at the 3rd level of the Venerable Realm, but her ferocity was well known, and she was much stronger than Supreme Xianguang. That's really a pity. Such a handsome young man. I really can't bear to kill him. Supreme Tianxiang smiled gently. If Supreme Tianxiang likes it, I'll send you dozens of handsome young men later. However, this Ling Xiao must die today. Supreme Xianguang said. Really? Ha ha. Since that's the case, many thanks. Supreme Tianxiang's eyes lit up as she laughed. One of you is at the 2nd level of the Venerable Realm, and the other is at the 3rd level of the Venerable Realm. Do you really think you can defeat me? Don't talk so much nonsense. Come at me together. Let me send you on your way. Chapter 899. You're courting death. Killing intent flashed in Supremacy Xianguang's eyes as a terrifying Supremacy's aura spread out from his body. Little brother, big sister is really curious. Where did you get the confidence to face the two of us? However, if you can defeat big sister, you can do whatever you want to me. Supremacy Heavenly Fragrance chuckled. Buzz. Pink light filled the void. Although Supremacy Heavenly Fragrance was smiling, she waved her hand, and a pink cloud shroud emitting a mysterious light enveloped Ling Xiao. Is that the Heavenly Fragrance Rainbow Cloud Shroud? That's the treasure that made Supremacy Heavenly Fragrance famous. It's also the Supremacy artifact of the Heavenly Fragrance sect. Supremacy Heavenly Fragrance actually values Ling Xiao so much? Someone exclaimed, recognizing the origin of the pink cloud shroud. The Heavenly Fragrance Rainbow Cloud Shroud contained the poison of the Heavenly Fragrance. Once trapped by the Heavenly Fragrance Rainbow Cloud Shroud, even a Supremacy would become weak and powerless. Although Supremacy Heavenly Fragrance was joking, her attacks were extremely vicious. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he held the heaven-devouring sword in his hand. It emitted an unparalleled sword intent as it slashed towards the Heavenly Fragrance Rainbow Cloud Shroud. It's actually a Supremacy artifact? Big sister is becoming more and more interested in you. This sword is not bad. How about giving it to big sister? Supremacy Heavenly Fragrance's eyes lit up as she lightly slapped her palm towards Ling Xiao. A fragrant wind blew in his face, emitting a wave of dizziness. This palm seemed very light, but it contained an extremely sinister power. Boom! The heaven-devouring sword shone brightly as a vast sword energy slashed through the sky, directly slashing onto the Heavenly Fragrance Rainbow Cloud Shroud. Instantly, pink light exploded, and the Heavenly Fragrance Rainbow Cloud Shroud trembled slightly. A wave of Heavenly Fragrance Rainbow Cloud Shroud spread towards Ling Xiao. Although Ling Xiao wasn't afraid, he was currently heavily injured. He didn't want to fail miserably. Therefore, he used his full strength from the start, wanting to quickly deal with these two Supremacies. Moreover, Ling Xiao felt that Supremacy Heavenly Fragrance and Supremacy Heavenly Light weren't humans. They should be some kind of ancient variant species. If he could refine them, it should be of help to his injuries. Thinking of this, Ling Xiao's gaze towards the two Supremacy Heavenly Fragrance became somewhat heated. Sovereign Heavenly Fragrance felt a little strange. Ling Xiao was looking at her as if she was his prey. Rumble. Ling Xiao punched out. His entire body shone brightly, and a powerful dragon's aura filled the air. 9 dazzling golden dragons streaked across the sky, pouncing towards heavenly fragrance. The punch was incomparably ferocious. The 9 dragons were the power of the 10,000 dragons god-slaying art, and they were extremely terrifying. Each of the dragons had the power of a supreme. The 9 dragons swept across the sky and forced heavenly fragrance to retreat. People from the dragon clan? No wonder your physical body is so strong. You actually possess the bloodline of a true dragon. Little brother, why don't you offer up your bloodline so that big sister can take another step forward? Heavenly Fragrance's eyes instantly lit up, revealing an incomparably blazing radiance. Whoosh! Heavenly Fragrance's colorful cloud shroud covered the sky like a colorful cloud, pressing down on Ling Xiao. Meanwhile, Heavenly Fragrance's 10 fingers danced in the air as she rapidly made a series of hand seals. Streaks of colorful threads streaked across the sky and intertwined with each other in an attempt to bind Ling Xiao. If you want my bloodline, then let's see if you have the ability to do so. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed sharply as the heaven-devouring sword slashed across the sky. Blazing sword chi swept across the sky, instantly severing the threads that filled the sky. However, the Heavenly Fragrance's colorful cloud shroud suddenly expanded like the mouth of a ferocious beast, instantly wrapping around Ling Xiao. Little brother, you are big sisters, Heavenly Fragrance said with a smile. She pointed at Ling Xiao's forehead, wanting to completely imprison Ling Xiao's primordial spirit. In her opinion, Ling Xiao must have fallen into the Heavenly Fragrance's colorful cloud shroud. Even if it could only paralyze Ling Xiao for a moment, it would be enough for her to capture him. Supreme Xianguang stood to the side and did not make a move. In his opinion, although Ling Xiao's physical body was strong, he was not a supreme. Therefore, he was definitely not a match for Heavenly Fragrance. It's over. Ling Xiao is dead for sure after being swallowed by the Heavenly Fragrance's colorful cloud shroud. Based on Heavenly Fragrance's words, Ling Xiao is actually from the Dragon Clan? How many years has it been since the Dragon Clan appeared in the reincarnation world? It's a pity. If you can't become a supreme, you will always be an ant. No matter how strong Ling Xiao is, he is not a match for Heavenly Fragrance. Everyone sighed softly, and a trace of pity appeared in their eyes. Big brother Ling Xiao, Shui, has implicated you. Lu Shui, eyes were red, and sparkling tears fell from her eyes. Her face was filled with guilt and self-blame. If it weren't for saving her, Ling Xiao would not have offended Supreme Xianguang and Heavenly Fragrance, and he would not have fallen into such a situation. Boom! A golden light exploded within the Heavenly Fragrance's colorful cloud shroud, and it was as if a golden sun had risen. Heavenly Fragrance actually staggered and flew out of the Heavenly Fragrance's colorful cloud shroud. Her palm was shattered by Ling Xiao's finger. If she hadn't reacted quickly, she might have been killed by Ling Xiao's finger. How can you not be poisoned by the Heavenly Fragrance? Heavenly Fragrance's eyes revealed a trace of disbelief. How can a mere Heavenly Fragrance's poison do anything to me, Ling Xiao? If that's all you have, then you can go and die. Ling Xiao said indifferently. Although the Heavenly Fragrance's poison was very strong, it was instantly refined by the heaven-devouring secret technique. It had no effect on Ling Xiao at all. Whoosh! The heaven-devouring sword in Ling Xiao's hand slashed through the air, and the light was blazing to the extreme. In an instant he slashed out 9 times, and each slash contained a peerless killing intent. When they intertwined together, it was as if they were going to destroy the world, and they enveloped Heavenly Fragrance's head. 9 killings to the end. Ling Xiao activated the heaven-devouring sword. Even if it was only the strength of his physical body, it still erupted with an extremely terrifying power. The terrifying killing intent intertwined, and Heavenly Fragrance's scalp went numb. She hurriedly shouted, "Xianguang, this brat is difficult to deal with. Let's attack together. Kill him, and that supreme sword is yours. I only want the power of his bloodline." Alright. Killing intent also flashed in Xianguang's eyes. A black golden battle spear appeared in his hand, and he attacked Ling Xiao from behind. The black golden battle spear shone resplendently, and there were black scales and runes flickering on it. It was like a black flood dragon, and it contained a sharpness that could pierce through everything. Attack together? Now that's interesting. Ling Xiao smiled coldly, and a sharp light flashed in his eyes. The heaven-devouring sword shone resplendently, and he instantly soared into the sky. 9 blazing sword lights descended from the sky, enveloping Xianguang in heavenly fragrance. Boom! The sky shook, and it was as if a divine sun had exploded. Terrifying divine light and supreme divine aura swept out in all directions, containing a fluctuation that could destroy everything. Buzz! Chapter 900. The protective mountain formation formed a huge barrier. It trembled violently, but in the end, it managed to block the shockwave. Otherwise, the shockwaves from the battle between supremes would have razed the Xianpin tribe to the ground. However, Lu Zhongtian and the other elders suffered from the backlash as the barrier shook violently. They spat out a mouthful of blood, and their faces turned unnaturally red. Block it! Lu Zhongtian roared as he poured all of his energy into the barrier to maintain it. Ling Xiao is so strong. He forced 2 supremes to team up against him? Could it be that he can really kill a supreme being? Someone exclaimed as he looked at the terrifying divine light in the sky. His eyes were filled with shock. Kill supremes? Dream on. Everyone below the supremes are ants. If supremes' profound light and heavenly fragrance work together, Ling Xiao will definitely die. Lin Hu of the ferocious tiger tribe sneered. Everyone nodded inwardly. No matter how strong Ling Xiao was, it was impossible for him to be a match for 2 supremes. However, such a young man had such powerful combat strength. Moreover, he was from the dragon clan, which had disappeared for countless years. Once he grew up, he would definitely become the most dazzling genius in the reincarnation world. Unfortunately, he was going to die here today. Boom! 2 figures flew out from the dazzling divine light storm in the sky. Both Supreme Xianguang and Supreme Tianxiang shuddered as if they had suffered heavy injuries. They coughed up blood and cut a sorry figure. There was a deep wound on the chest of Supremes. Flesh and blood splattered everywhere. It contained a sharp sword intent, as if it was going to cut him in half. One of Sovereign Heavenly Fragrance's arms had been completely shattered, turning into a bloody mist. Moreover, Ling Xiao had left a bloody scar on her pretty face. It was a ghastly sight. Ling Xiao stood above the divine light in the sky. He held the sky-devouring sword in his right hand. The sword light was unparalleled. He extended 2 fingers with his left hand, and caught the Supreme's black golden war spear. The black golden war spear buzzed and trembled, but it couldn't escape from Ling Xiao's control. Ling Xiao's clothes were whiter than snow. His hair fluttered in the wind. The golden divine wool behind him was as dazzling as the sun. What? Everyone was dumbfounded. Supreme Xianguang and Supreme Tianxiang had joined forces, but Ling Xiao still managed to force them back? How could Ling Xiao be so strong? Moreover, what shocked the crowd even more was that Ling Xiao was actually able to clamp the black golden battle spear between his fingers. That was a supreme weapon that contained boundless divine might. Even a supreme being would not dare to take a supreme weapon head-on, but Ling Xiao was actually able to take it head-on without suffering any damage. Could it be that Ling Xiao's physical body was even stronger than a supreme weapon? Ling Xiao suddenly grunted. His face was somewhat pale, and a trace of blood appeared at the corner of his mouth. He had just forcefully activated the heaven-devouring sword and clashed head-on with Supreme Xianguang and Supreme Tianxiang, which had aggravated the injuries in his body. At this moment, he was actually showing signs of being unable to suppress them. Looks like I have to end this quickly. Ling Xiao sighed in his heart. He's injured. Kill him. Supreme Xianguang and Supreme Tianxiang's eyes lit up, and they instantly charged toward Ling Xiao. They were already completely afraid of Ling Xiao. This youth who seemed to have no cultivation at all had extremely terrifying combat strength. He actually had the strength to suppress them. They had to go all out and kill Ling Xiao. Rumble. The heavens and earth trembled, and the clouds changed color. Black light gathered behind Supreme Xianguang, and a demonic aura rose. A giant black snake soared into the sky. It was at least 10,000 feet long, and it emitted a monstrous baleful aura. Its triangular head was raised high, and its blood-red eyes were filled with murderous intent. As for sovereign heavenly fragrance, her entire body shone with resplendent light. Behind her, an enormous 5-colored spider appeared. It was as tall as a mountain, and it had 8 legs that looked as if they were made of metal. They contained a sharpness that seemed capable of piercing through everything. Roar! Roar! The giant black snake and the 5-colored spider roared at the same time and charged toward Ling Xiao. So, it's the soaring serpent and the 5-colored spider king? Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of sharpness. He recognized the true forms of Supreme Xianguang and Supreme Tianxiang. The soaring serpent and the 5-colored spider king were both extremely powerful archaic variants. Boom! The sky-devouring sword in Ling Xiao's hand soared into the sky, and a vast heavenly river spread out. Sword chi swept out, and the surroundings trembled. This sword seemed to cause the heavens and earth to tremble. The aura on Ling Xiao's body rose to the extreme. As he soared through the sky, his sword seemed to split the heavens and earth, and all directions were about to be destroyed. Omnidirectional annihilation style. At the same time, the soaring serpent roared and spat out a black divine light from its mouth. It turned into a black sea that seemed to be able to corrode everything, and it enveloped Ling Xiao. As for the 5-colored spider king, it shot out tens of thousands of spider silk. Each silk contained 5-colored light, and it was incomparably sturdy, like a divine chain of order. Everyone seemed to be suffocating. Their faces were pale, and the depths of their souls were trembling. However, everyone opened their eyes wide and looked at the battle in the sky. They wanted to see who would win and who would lose. Lu Zhongtian, Lu Shui'er, and the others' eyes were filled with endless hope. They seemed to have seen endless hope. If Ling Xiao could really create the magnificent feat of killing a supreme being, then the Xianpin tribe would be the true ruler of this land. As long as Ling Xiao was around, no one would dare to have any ideas about Xianpin. Rumble! A white sword light fell from the sky, and it seemed to split the heavens and earth in half. The terrifying black divine light was actually shattered by Ling Xiao's sword. The spider webs that filled the sky were also swept away. Puff! Puff! 2 streaks of blood flashed, and accompanied by a terrifying roar, the soaring serpent was actually cut in half by Ling Xiao's sword. The 5-colored spider king also instantly exploded in the sky. Supreme Being Xianguang and Supreme Being Tianxiang spat out mouthfuls of blood, and their auras instantly became extremely weak. The 2 Dharma idols contained the power of their primordial spirits. Now that they were broken by Ling Xiao, they were naturally heavily injured. Ling Xiao stood in the sky, holding his sword. His eyes were filled with unparalleled killing intent. Not good. Let's go. Supreme Being Xianguang and Supreme Being Tianxiang looked at each other, and they could see the panic in each other's eyes. Ling Xiao's strength was so terrifying. They had already suffered a crushing defeat. If they continued to stay, they might be in danger of dying. Whoosh! Their figures flashed, and they wanted to tear open the void and escape. Lord Ling Xiao, let them stay. Lu Zhongtian's eyes revealed a trace of anxiety as he hurriedly shouted. If the 2 supreme beings were to escape, it would be a disaster for the Xianpin tribe. You want to leave? You'd better stay. Chapter 901. Ruiyuanbul. The King Heaven Devourer cauldron pulsed with a heaven-devouring, earth-devouring aura. It was ancient and mysterious, and heaven-devouring fire burned as Ling Xiao sat down cross-legged to refine Paragon Profound Radiance and Paragon Heavenly Fragrance. Bastard! You think you can refine us, Ling Xiao? You're a wretch devil. You're not human. Paragon Profound Light howled, his eyes filled with terror. Let me go, Ling Xiao. Paragon Heavenly Fragrance said, her face drained of color as she begged for mercy. I'll be your slave. Just spare my life. However, Ling Xiao didn't seem to be paying any attention to them. Earlier, Ling Xiao had used the all-sides annihilation style to injure them. Now he was using the power of the King Heaven Devourer cauldron to refine them. To Ling Xiao, these 2 supreme beings were simply great tonics. Although they couldn't completely heal Ling Xiao's injuries, They could completely control the injuries in his body. Therefore, there was no way Ling Xiao was going to let them go. Rumble. Heaven Devourer fire surged, causing heaven and earth to tremble. It didn't matter if Paragon Profound Light and Paragon Heavenly Fragrance were cursing or begging for mercy. Ling Xiao ignored them. Instead, he used the King Heaven Devourer cauldron to refine and devour them. A single drop of blood from a supreme being was enough to crush mountains and nurture plants. Their blood contained boundless vitality. Their supreme being physique had been tempered by the lightning tribulation of the heavens and earth, and contained incomparably pure energy. Before long, Paragon Profound Light and Paragon Heavenly Fragrance revealed their true forms within the King Heaven Devourer cauldron. They were a 3,000-meter-long black snake and a 300-meter-tall 5-colored spider king. Both of them emanated ancient and mysterious auras, as well as powerful bloodlines. Their flesh and blood contained boundless life force quintessence, which was being refined by the King Heaven Devourer cauldron, and used to nourish Ling Xiao. All the meridians in Ling Xiao's body began to slowly recover. Even his cracked bones began to show signs of healing. When the onlookers heard the screams of Paragon Profound Light and Paragon Heavenly Fragrance, they were shaken, and expressions of disbelief could be seen in their eyes. Ling Xiao had just killed 2 paragons? It was almost as if they were in a dream. That was especially true of the experts from the 9 tribes. They wanted to flee, but didn't dare to. All they could do was wait respectfully and pray that Ling Xiao would go easy on them. So he really is a paragon? Paragon Heaven Devourer's words. Lu Shuang'er stared blankly at Ling Xiao's figure in the air. She recalled what Ling Xiao had said before and felt her face burn. You. Of me. You. Lu Shuang'er's big eyes sparkled as she looked at Ling Xiao with eyes full of worship. Meanwhile, Lu Zhongtian and the other elders of the Xianpin tribe were extremely excited. Calm. Of course. Did this mean that from now on, the Xianpin tribe was going to rise completely? Patriarch Lu, we 9 tribes have offended you. We took your profound origin fruit. We will return it all to you and compensate you with all we can. Please, put in a good word for us in front of Lord Ling Xiao, and let us go. Lin Hu of the ferocious tiger tribe walked over on behalf of the 9 tribes. His eyes were full of pleading. I can't make the decision on this matter. Lord Ling Xiao will deal with it after he finishes his cultivation. Lu Zhongtian said calmly. The 9 tribes had oppressed the Xianflower tribe for a long time. Many of the tribesmen of the Xianflower tribe had died in their hands. Lu Zhongtian didn't treat them well. Lin Hu had a long face, but he could only stand there and wait obediently with the people of the 9 tribes. Ling Xiao sat cross-legged in the air and cultivated for 7 days and 7 nights. After 7 days and 7 nights, Ling Xiao stood up in the air. His body exuded a powerful aura, and a look of joy appeared on his face. Although Ling Xiao's injuries hadn't completely healed after refining and devouring Autark Xianguang and Autark Tianxiang, they were under control and wouldn't worsen any further. As long as he continued to cultivate and recuperate, he would get enough resources. Then his injuries would gradually heal. The most important thing was the life and death energy in the underworld's sacred river. Life or death pill. What a pity. The 2 of them only have 100,000 life or death pills. A black and white pill appeared in Ling Xiao's hand. It flowed with a mysterious light and contained a majestic life and death energy. This was the life or death pill. Only Supremes could extract the life or death pill from the underworld's sacred river. It contained a majestic life and death energy. The life or death pill was like the pure yang pill in the war god Great World. It was the currency of the reincarnation Great World. If I had 100 million life or death pills, my injuries would be completely healed, and I would be able to improve. Unfortunately, the life or death pill is too rare. Ling Xiao said with a bitter smile. During these 7 days, Lu Shuang'er and Lu Shuang'er were arranged to guard Ling Xiao. Everyone in the Xianpin tribe looked at Ling Xiao with eyes full of worship. Ling Xiao was like a stabilizing force that gave everyone in the Xianpin tribe hope. As for the experts of the 9 tribes, they all stood there obediently. None of them dared to leave. The news that Ling Xiao had killed the Xian Light Supremes and Tianxiang Supremes had spread throughout the land. All the tribes, including the Profound Light City, were shaken. The Xian Light Supremes and Tian Xiang Supremes could be said to be the rulers of the land. Yet, they were killed at the same time. Was the profound light city really going to change hands? The experts of the large families and the city lord's mansion were all scared out of their wits. They were afraid that Ling Xiao would attack the city. However, they also knew that Ling Xiao had the strength to kill Supremes. Even if he attacked the city, they could only choose to submit. Big brother Ling Xiao, you're awake? Lu Shui looked at Ling Xiao with eyes full of surprise. Thank you for saving us. Lu Shuang also looked at Ling Xiao with a complicated expression. Ling Xiao stroked Lu Shui's little head and said faintly, no need to thank me. I did it all for Shui. Lu Shuang's eyes dimmed and she fell silent. Big brother Ling Xiao, the 9 tribes have been waiting for several days. How should we deal with them? Lu Shui said, pointing at the experts of the 9 tribes. Chapter 902. Every tribe will hand over 100,000 life or death pills, and swear an oath to the heavenly Tao that you will never become enemies with the Xianpin tribe. You may leave after that. Ling Xiao said as he looked at them indifferently. Yes. Thank you, Lord Ling Xiao. The experts of the 9 tribes were heartbroken. 100,000 life or death dawn was definitely a huge burden for them. Perhaps, they would have to take out more than half of their savings. However, they didn't dare to have the slightest objection. Otherwise, Ling Xiao might directly trample the 9 tribes. The tribe leaders of the 9 tribes swore an oath to the heavenly Tao that they would never become enemies with the Xianpin tribe again. They then hurried back to their tribes and emptied their vaults. Within a day, they gathered 900,000 life or death pills and sent them to Ling Xiao. With these 900,000 life or death pills, I should be able to recover a little from my injuries. However, there should be a lot of life or death pills in the Tianxiang sect and Profound Light City. There might even be a branch of the underworld's sacred river. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he thought to himself. Ling Xiao had refined the Profound Light Supremes and Heavenly Fragrance Supremes, so he naturally obtained their memories. He knew that the Profound Light City and the Tianxiang sect both had a powerful branch. In the reincarnation Great World, the branches of the underworld sacred river were spread all over the world. They were like the spiritual veins in the war god Great World. They could gather the power of life and death and communicate with the true underworld sacred river. Therefore, the stronger the faction, the stronger the branch. After Ling Xiao told Lu Zhongtian and Lu Shui about his plans, he left the Xianpin tribe and headed for the Tianxiang sect. The Tianxiang sect was about 200,000 miles away from the Xianpin tribe. Ling Xiao used his extreme speed and arrived there in a day. The Tianxiang sect occupied a beautiful mountain range. Clouds and mist lingered around it, and the power of life and death flowed. There was also a powerful protective array around it. Ever since the news of Madame Xinghua and the Heavenly Fragrance Supremes being killed by Ling Xiao, the entire Tianxiang sect was in a state of panic, as if they were facing a great enemy. The protective array had already been activated. The Tianxiang sect was enveloped by a huge barrier that emitted a powerful aura. The protective array of the Tianxiang sect was rumored to be able to withstand the attack of a prime. When Ling Xiao arrived in the sky above the Tianxiang sect, he saw such a scene. Head of the Tianxiang sect, come out! Ling Xiao said faintly. His voice shook the heavens and exploded in the sky above the Tianxiang sect like thunder. Who is it? A few powerful auras soared into the sky. Their eyes were filled with coldness and caution as they stared at Ling Xiao. I'm Ling Xiao. You should have heard of my name. Ling Xiao said indifferently. What? Ling Xiao. The name Ling Xiao seemed to have some kind of magical power. Instantly, everyone from the Sky Incense sect became excited. Every single one of them revealed an expression as if they were facing a great enemy. Whoosh! A middle-aged man in a green robe rose into the air. He looked elegant and extraordinary, like a scholar. He bowed to Ling Xiao and said, Greetings, Sir Ling Xiao. I am Yang Kai, the acting sovereign of the Sky Fragrance sect. May I know why Sir Ling Xiao has come to the Sky Fragrance sect? Yang Kai. A glint flashed across Ling Xiao's eyes. Yang Kai had the same cultivation as Madame Xinghua. They were both half-step sovereigns who had undergone the Four Symbols tribulation. He was also the strongest person in the entire Sky Fragrance sect. No wonder he could become the acting sect master. I only have one request. Hand over all the life or death pills, and tell me the location of the underworld sacred river. If you can do it, I won't hurt anyone in the Sky Fragrance sect. If you can't do it, the Sky Fragrance sect will be destroyed today. Ling Xiao said faintly. Everyone from the Sky Fragrance sect trembled as a trace of anger appeared in their eyes. The life or death pills and the underworld sacred river were the foundation of the Sky Fragrance sect. Ling Xiao's request to hand over all the life or death pills and the underworld sacred river was simply asking for the lifeblood of the Sky Fragrance sect. If someone else had made such a request, the Sky Fragrance sect would have swarmed over and hacked him to death. However, they did not have the courage to do so in front of Ling Xiao. All right. Sir Ling Xiao, please follow me. Whether it is the life or death pills or the underworld sacred river, we are willing to hand them over to you. We only hope that you won't hurt the disciples of the Sky Fragrance sect. Yang Kai gritted his teeth and said, agreeing directly. Ling Xiao looked deeply at Yang Kai and followed him into the Sky Fragrance sect. The underworld sacred river of the Sky Fragrance sect was sealed in a space. In that space, there was a 1,000-mile-long underworld sacred river. It flowed mightily and contained a majestic life and death force. It was indeed much stronger than the underworld sacred river of the Xianpin tribe. Yang Kai also obediently opened the Sky Fragrance sect's treasury and allowed Ling Xiao to take away more than 1.2 million life or death pills. I want to cultivate in seclusion in the underworld sacred river for a while. Don't disturb me if there's nothing important. I will leave when I come out of seclusion. Ling Xiao said faintly and turned around to enter the space. After Ling Xiao entered the space, Yang Kai's expression instantly became extremely gloomy. His eyes were filled with cold killing intent. He waved his hand and a boundary enveloped everyone. You can say whatever you want now, Yang Kai said faintly. Sect Master, why did you give the life or death pills and the underworld sacred river to Ling Xiao? Those are the lifeblood of our Sky Fragrance sect. Ling Xiao is a shameless bastard. He's going too far. An elder of the Sky Fragrance sect said angrily. What else can we do? Wait for Ling Xiao to break the mountain protecting Grand Array and kill us all? Ling Xiao can kill Mystic Light Realm sovereigns and sect master. Can't he break our mountain protecting Grand Array? Now that the situation is like this, we can only compromise. Yang Kai sighed softly. Then are we just going to let Ling Xiao take away all the resources of our Sky Fragrance sect? I can't accept this. An elder with a sinister face smashed a huge rock in front of him into pieces with a punch. His eyes were filled with anger. Don't worry. Ling Xiao won't be arrogant for long. He will die soon. Yang Kai sneered. Oh, why? The elders of the Sky Fragrance sect immediately became spirited. Mystic Light Realm Sovereign Wang Hong. How do you think he became the city lord of Mystic Light City? That's because he has a good brother-in-law. His brother-in-law is the commander of the Black Dragon Army. If he knows that he's dead, he definitely won't let the matter rest. I've already contacted the people in Profound Light City and passed the news of Supreme Profound Light's death to his brother-in-law. At that time, Ling Xiao will definitely die. Yang Kai said coldly. Black Dragon Army? These three words made the elders of the Sky Fragrance sect suck in a breath of cold air. The Black Dragon Army was the strongest army under King Chu Jiang. It was said that the weakest of them was an emperor, and each of them was a genius with great combat strength. The million-strong Black Dragon Army suppressed the Chu Jiang region. Their strength was monstrous, and they had wiped out countless sects and families that opposed King Chu Jiang. Chapter 903. There were dozens of commanders in the Black Dragon Army, and every one of them was at the Supreme Being realm. They were extremely powerful, and their might was overwhelming. It was no wonder Wang Hong had been able to become the city magistrate of Profound Light City. He had the brother-in-law of one of the captains of the Black Dragon Army backing him. The Black Dragon Army was a force that no sect or aristocratic clan in the Chujiang domain would dare to provoke. Now that Ling Xiao had killed Wang Hong, It wouldn't be long before the Black Dragon army arrived. No matter how strong Ling Xiao was, he wouldn't be a match for them. During this period of time, all of you better behave yourselves. Do not provoke Ling Xiao. No matter what request he has, satisfy him. Once the Black Dragon army arrives, it'll be his death. Yang Kai's eyes flickered with cold killing intent. Yes, sir. Many elders exclaimed excitedly. Ling Xiao entered the dimension. Ruiyuambul. A 1,000-mile-long yellow spring sacred river flowed out from the void and flowed into the depths of another part of the void. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He could vaguely feel that the netherworld sacred river was like a passageway. If he could break through the void and follow the netherworld sacred river upstream, he might be able to find the main stream of the netherworld sacred river. Unfortunately, the spatial aegis around the Yellow Springs Sage River were so strong that not even a paragon would be able to break through them. They contained the essence power of heaven and earth, as well as terrifying power. If he tried to force his way through, he would be met with unimaginable danger. The Yellow Springs Sage River in front of him was filled with surging waves that swept across the sky and contained the mysterious power of life and death. For example, life-death pills were created by paragons using the power of life and death in the Yellow Springs Sage River. The power of life and death in this place is strong. It's 10 times stronger than in the Xianpin tribe. Hopefully, I can use it to heal my fleshly body. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed, and he turned into a stream of light, shooting into the netherworld sacred river in an instant. Ruiyuambul. The King Heaven Devourer cauldron shone with dazzling light as it floated above Ling Xiao's head, shining with multicolored light. It was ancient and mysterious, and covered with all sorts of mysterious magical symbols. Now that he was in this dimension, Ling Xiao didn't have any misgivings about drawing on the full power of the King Heaven Devourer cauldron. The Yellow Springs sage light began to churn violently as water poured into the King Heaven Devourer cauldron. The cauldron was like a primeval beast, sucking in the life and death power of the Yellow Springs sage light. The power of life and death was devoured by the King Heaven Devourer cauldron, transforming it into life force quintessence that flowed into Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's injuries were extremely severe this time. Even his extremely powerful true dragon body was almost shattered. The war god's power in his body was almost completely depleted. Even his origin spirit had fallen silent. Ling Xiao intended to heal his physical body first. Once his physical body was completely healed, he would have enough strength to protect himself even in the samsara world with the strength of the real dragon body. Once his flesh was repaired, he would replenish the force of the divine god of battle in his body and nourish his primordial spirit. Although the life-reversing technique is unparalleled in killing, it can't be used lightly. Ling Xiao laughed bitterly as he muttered to himself. That was especially true of the third move of the life-reversing technique, defying heaven's will. It could wipe out the fate of an enemy, and although it contained mysterious power, the backlash was also terrifying. Ling Xiao's life force quintessence was almost completely depleted, and his longevity was nearing its end. If it weren't for the wordless heavenly tome blocking some of the backlash, he would have been nothing more than a pile of bones by now. The life force quintessence here is good, but it can only nourish my fleshly body and heal my injuries. If I want to recover my life force quintessence, I'll need the real Yellow Springs sage light. With that, Ling Xiao pushed those thoughts to the back of his mind and focused on healing. Rumble. Primal chaos mist filled the area, godlight shone, and Yellow Springs waves surged, creating all sorts of mysterious phenomena. Ling Xiao's cultivation in the King Heaven Devourer cauldron would have attracted the attention of many people in the outside world. But here he didn't have such scruples. Even the life and death pills that Ling Xiao had looted from the Sky Incense sect and the 9 great tribes were all devoured by him. 3 days later, within the Yellow Springs sage light, 2 dazzling beams of light pierced through the void like 2 suns, making it difficult for anyone to look directly at them. They were Ling Xiao's eyes. Ling Xiao stood above the Yellow Springs sage light, his robes whiter than snow, his white hair fluttering in the wind. His eyes were filled with the vicissitudes of life and wisdom. Nearly 90% of the Yellow Springs sagelight's power of life and death had been devoured by Ling Xiao. The remaining power was so sparse that even if he devoured it, it wouldn't have much effect. It's a pity that this branch of the Yellow Springs Sagelight and so many life-death pills can only heal more than half of the injuries on my fleshly body. Looks like I'll have to make a trip to Profound Light City. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. Profound Light City also had a branch of the Yellow Springs Sagelight. If he could refine it, he should be able to completely heal his fleshly body. Crack. The space was filled with dazzling light. Ling Xiao stepped out in an instant and left the place. The news of Ling Xiao coming out of seclusion quickly alarmed Yang Kai and the many elders of the Heavenly Incense sect. I don't want to kill so many people, so all of you should swear an oath to the Heavenly Tao. From now on, you won't make things difficult for anyone from the Xianpin tribe. If you violate this oath, your soul will be destroyed. Ling Xiao said indifferently, forcing all the experts of the Heavenly Incense sect above the monarch realm to swear an oath to the Heavenly Tao. Although Yang Kai and the many elders of the Heavenly Incense sect were unwilling, they didn't dare to have any objections and swore an oath to the Heavenly Tao. After doing all this, Ling Xiao left the Heavenly Incense sect and headed towards Profound Light City. Yang Kai's eyes were gloomy as he watched Ling Xiao's departing figure. He said coldly, "There's news from Profound Light City. Wang Hong's brother-in-law, Commander Tai Shui, will arrive at Profound Light City in a few days. Let's go together then. I want to see Ling Xiao die without a burial ground with my own eyes." Ling Xiao will definitely die. Many elders of the Heavenly Incense sect said coldly. Their eyes were filled with cold killing intent. The Supreme Elder and Sect Master had been killed by Ling Xiao, and the life or death pill and the Yellow Springs Sagelight River had been taken away by Ling Xiao. This was simply a great humiliation to the Heavenly Incense sect. They naturally wished for nothing more than to kill Ling Xiao immediately. Ling Xiao left the Heavenly Incense sect and headed towards Profound Light City. Profound Light City was a huge ancient city that sat on a vast plain. It had a radius of a few hundred miles, and the city walls were hundreds of meters tall. It was shrouded in a layer of dazzling light that was mysterious and unfathomable. It was the power of the City Defense Grand Array that protected the entire city. Chapter 904. After Ling Xiao arrived at Profound Light City, his eyes couldn't help but flash. Was Profound Light City guarding against him? Whoosh. Ling Xiao hovered in the air above Profound Light City and said indifferently, "Where is the person in charge of Profound Light City?" Ling Xiao's voice was very calm, but it was like thunder that spread throughout the entire Profound Light City. "Who are you? Why have you come to my Profound Light City?" A middle-aged man in black armor with an extraordinary aura looked at Ling Xiao solemnly. He was a half-step sovereign with the tribulation of 3 symbols. "I am Ling Xiao." Ling Xiao said indifferently. "What?" Hearing the 2 words Ling Xiao, the expression of the middle-aged man in black armor changed greatly. His eyes were filled with incomparable shock. The name Ling Xiao had spread throughout this land in the past few days. He had killed the Profound Light Sovereign and Tianxiang Sovereign with his own strength, and became the new ruler of this land. Profound Light City was heavily guarded, because it was naturally to guard against Ling Xiao. "Not good. Quickly inform the Patriarch." The middle-aged man in black armor hurriedly said. Immediately, several armored soldiers quickly left the city wall. "Lord Ling Xiao, I am Wang Yuan, a general under the Profound Light Sovereign. I can't decide whether you can enter the city or not. I can only wait for the patriarch of the Wang family to come and make the decision." Wang Yuan cupped his hands towards Ling Xiao. "Oh, then hurry up." Ling Xiao said indifferently, but there was a trace of mockery in his eyes. He could already feel that there were some people in Profound Light City who wanted to stubbornly resist and not let him enter the city. However, Ling Xiao didn't care. He also wanted to see what else Profound Light City could rely on. Not long after, a white-haired old man arrived in the air with a dozen elders. His entire body exuded an incomparably powerful aura. These people were all half-step sovereigns, especially the old man in the lead. He was already a half-step sovereign with the tribulation of 4 symbols. "You are Ling Xiao? What business do you have in my Profound Light City?" The white-haired old man stared coldly at Ling Xiao. These were all elders of the Wang family. The white-haired old man was called Wang Quan. and he was the uncle of the mystic light realm Wang Hong. After Wang Hong was killed by Ling Xiao, Wang Quan was elected as the patriarch of the Wang family, and was now the city lord of Mystic Light City. I'm not going to waste my breath on you. Hand over 5 million life and death pills, and the Yellow Springs Sacred River, and I can spare your lives. Otherwise, don't blame me for starting a massacre today. Ling Xiao said calmly with a sharp glint in his eyes. 5 million life and death pills? Why don't you just rob someone? An elder of the Wang family suddenly revealed a trace of anger in his eyes. You're right. I really did come here to rob you. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Ling Xiao, I advise you not to go overboard. You killed Supreme Xianguang and Supreme Tianxiang. Aren't you afraid of King Chuzhang's wrath? If you know what's good for you, then obediently back down. Otherwise, don't blame us for being impolite. Wang Quan's eyes were extremely gloomy. News came from the Chujiang royal city that the brother-in-law of the Supreme Xianguang, Commander Tai Shui, would arrive in 2 days. At that time, Ling Xiao would be dead for sure. Therefore, Wang Quan naturally had confidence. Moreover, he didn't want to be like the Tianxiang sect, bowing before Ling Xiao and offering the Wang family's treasures to him. The profound light city's city barrier formation was personally created by the formation Dao sovereign of the Chujiang royal city. It was said that even a sovereign couldn't break it. Wang Quan believed that Ling Xiao couldn't break the city barrier formation. When Commander Tai Shui arrived, Ling Xiao would be dead for sure. Impolite? Could it be that you think you can stop me with just this great city barrier array? I'll say it again. Hand over 5 million life and death pills and the Yellow Springs Sacred River, and I'll spare your lives. Ling Xiao said slowly with a cold glint in his eyes. Wang Quan sneered and said, Ling Xiao, I know you're very strong. However, this city barrier formation was created by the formation Dao sovereign of the Chujiang royal city. Even if several sovereigns attacked at the same time, they wouldn't be able to break it. If you know what's good for you, hurry up and scram. Don't embarrass yourself. Wang Quan had strong confidence in the city barrier formation. He even hoped that Ling Xiao would overestimate himself and come to break the formation. Perhaps he could operate the power of the formation and kill Ling Xiao. Isn't it just a 9 bends Yellow Springs formation? In my opinion, it can be broken with a flip of my hand. Since you don't want to give up, then I'll break it for you to see. Ling Xiao said indifferently as he walked towards Profound Light City. In his previous life, Ling Xiao was the supreme master of Array Dao. He had even studied the supreme divine array. He could tell at a glance that this was the 9 bends underworld array. It was a very ancient needle technique. Although it was not bad, Ling Xiao did not take it seriously. Rumble. Heaven and earth trembled, and the void resonated. Ling Xiao's body emitted a trace of incomparably sharp fluctuation. How does he know that this is the 9 bends Yellow Springs formation? Wang Quan was shocked. There were very few people in the entire Profound Light City who knew this. He suddenly had a bad premonition in his heart. It should be just a coincidence. Wang Quan comforted himself. However, when he felt the powerful aura from Ling Xiao, the bad premonition became stronger and stronger. Patriarch, as long as Ling Xiao dares to step into the formation, we'll activate the 9 bends divine melody and confuse his mind. Then, we'll use the Yellow Springs Dragon Chi to turn him into pus. An elder of the Wang family sneered. All right. Wang Quan's eyes revealed a trace of murderous intent as he said. According to the news from the Tianxiang sect, this kid doesn't have the cultivation of a supreme being. It's just that he might have the bloodline of the dragon clan, and his combat strength is too strong. He definitely can't resist the 9 bends divine melody and the Yellow Springs Dragon Chi. Since he doesn't know what's good for him, we'll just kill him and take his bloodline of the dragon clan. Patriarch is wise. General Wang Yuan has already deployed all the deity-destroying arrows. When the time comes, we'll shoot all of them. Ling Xiao will definitely die. Another elder of the Wang family sneered. Very well. Everyone get ready. Today we'll kill Ling Xiao. Wang Quan said in high spirits. Boom. At this moment, Ling Xiao had already made his move. His palm flew across the sky. It was dazzling with golden light. The huge palm covered the sky and was surrounded by mysterious runes. It was as terrifying as the hand of a god. Crack! The huge palm landed on the Nine Bends Yellow Springs Great Array. Suddenly, runes exploded and lightning intertwined, setting off a divine light storm. The entire Great Array began to tremble, as if it would break apart at any time. The people in the profound light city were shaken, and their eyes revealed a look of horror. "Do it!" Wang Quan roared. In an instant, the weather changed and the sun and moon dimmed. A yellow mist covered the sky and shrouded Ling Xiao in an instant. Mysterious rhythms filled the air. There was a mysterious fluctuation that could make people fall into an eternal trance. The Nine Bends divine melody was activated. Chapter 905. The Nine Melodies divine melody was a mysterious sound wave formed by the death chi of the underworld and the laws of heaven and earth. It could pull people into a boundless illusion. It was incomparably marvelous. After the Nine Melodies divine melody was activated, even the people outside the array felt dizzy. This showed how terrifying the Nine Melodies divine melody was. At the same time, the Nine Melodies Yellow Springs array was fully activated. Streams of yellow chi rose and condensed into the shape of a dragon. It contained an incomparably powerful corrosive force and shrouded Ling Xiao. The corrosive force of the underworld dragon chi was so strong that even a quasi-supreme weapon would be turned into scrap metal in an instant. Even a supreme being would not dare to touch it. Swoosh! Swoosh! On the city walls of Profound Light City, more than a dozen black ballistas lit up. God-slaying arrows were like black lightning. In an instant, tens of thousands of arrows were shot at Ling Xiao. The god-slaying arrows were arrows that could directly destroy the primordial spirit. Even the entire Profound Light City did not have many such treasures. At this moment, in order to completely kill Ling Xiao, the Nine Melodies divine melody, the underworld dragon chi, and the god-slaying arrows were all activated. Boom! In the sky above Profound Light City, heaven and earth trembled. The underworld chi rose and a divine light storm erupted, sweeping in all directions and tearing the void apart. This terrifying power made many half-step supreme beings in Profound Light City turn pale. Their eyes were filled with horror. In their opinion, they would not be able to withstand this level of power for even a quarter of an hour. Ling Xiao should be dead, right? Everyone's eyes were filled with anxiety as they stared at the center of the Nine Melodies Yellow Springs array. Patriarch, that little bastard Ling Xiao must be dead. A patriarch of the Wang family sneered. That's right. With the Nine Melodies divine melody, the underworld dragon chi, and the god-slaying arrows, even a true supreme being would die without a doubt, not to mention Ling Xiao, who is not even a supreme being. Many elders of the Wang family had a cold look in their eyes. If it was a one-on-one battle, they were naturally no match for Ling Xiao. However, Ling Xiao dared to behave atrociously in Profound Light City. With the protection of the Nine Melodies Yellow Springs array, Ling Xiao was simply courting death. Boom! The divine light that filled the sky suddenly exploded. The golden light above the void was resplendent. A figure shrouded in golden divine light instantly broke through the yellow spring dragon chi and god-slaying arrows that filled the sky. His eyes were extremely resplendent. Dressed in white and with white hair, he looked like a god descending to the mortal world. It was Ling Xiao. The dragon energy of the underworld was swallowed up by Ling Xiao like a whale swallowing the ocean. The god-slaying arrow bounced off Ling Xiao's body as though it had hit metal. Ling Xiao was bathed in the golden light, like a golden god of war, making people not dare to look at him directly. What? Everyone was stunned. Such a powerful attack was actually unable to cause any damage to Ling Xiao. Just how strong was Ling Xiao? The expressions of Wang Quan and the many elders of the Wang family changed drastically. Their eyes revealed an extremely grave expression. If a supreme martial artist had activated the Nine Bends underworld formation, he might have been able to pose some threat to me. Unfortunately, your cultivation is too weak. Break. Ling Xiao shook his head, his eyes flashing with a sharp glint. Whoosh! His fingers swept across the sky. His finger was crystal clear and resplendent like a heavenly pillar. It instantly landed on the boundary of the Nine Bends underworld formation. Suddenly, the Nine Bends underworld formation trembled violently. Like a mirror, it suddenly shattered. The many elders of the Wang family who were maintaining the operation of the Nine Bends underworld formation suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. Their auras instantly withered, and their eyes were filled with extreme fear. The Nine Bends underworld formation that they relied on was actually broken by Ling Xiao's finger. How is this possible? Wang Quan was trembling all over. His eyes were filled with disbelief. Although he had overestimated Ling Xiao's combat strength, he suddenly realized that he had still underestimated Ling Xiao's strength. How was this a ferocious tiger? This was clearly an ancient Tyrannosaurus Rex. How could it be controlled by human strength? Nothing is impossible. I've said before that the Nine Bends underworld formation is nothing more than this. Ling Xiao said indifferently. He was able to break the Nine Bends underworld great formation with a single finger, not only because of Ling Xiao's extremely powerful combat strength, but also because Ling Xiao had seen through the Nine Bends underworld great formation with a single glance. His finger had pointed at the biggest flaw of the great formation, breaking the surface with a single point. Naturally, the great formation was instantly broken. Whoosh! Ling Xiao's figure flashed and appeared on the city wall of Profound Light City, standing in front of Wang Quan. Now what else do you want to say? Ling Xiao glanced at Wang Quan calmly. Wang Quan trembled all over. His face was extremely pale. His legs went soft in an instant. He knelt down in front of Ling Xiao and burst into tears. Lord Ling Xiao, please be magnanimous. Please don't lower yourself to my level. I was wrong. I was really wrong. Our Wang family is willing to take out 5 million life or death pills and hand over the underworld sacred river to you. Please spare our lives. At the same time, Wang Quan was extremely regretful. Yang Kai of the Tianxiang sect had told him to be patient and wait until the Black Dragon army arrived. However, Wang Quan thought that the Nine Bends underworld great array could stop Ling Xiao, so he refused Ling Xiao. He did not expect Ling Xiao's strength to be so terrifying. His intestines were green with regret. Now he could only hope that Ling Xiao would spare his life. Wang Quan's action startled many elders of the Wang family, but they all reacted in an instant. They knelt down in front of Ling Xiao and began to beg for mercy. Ling Xiao looked at the people of the Wang family indifferently. His expression was calm, and he did not comment. Suddenly, a voice rang out. Lord Ling Xiao, you can't spare them. Ling Xiao raised his head and found a very handsome young man standing in the distance. He was trembling all over, and his face was very pale. However, he still mustered up the courage to speak. That's right. Lord Ling Xiao, you can't spare them. I beg you to kill them and uphold justice for the people of Profound Light City. Lord Ling Xiao, the Wang family is not human. Not only do they eat humans, but they have also harmed countless innocent girls. Their sins are monstrous. Lord Ling Xiao, I beg you to get rid of this evil for the people. Under the lead of the handsome young man, many voices rang out in Profound Light City. They all mustered up the courage to kneel down in front of Ling Xiao and plead. You bastards, if you dare to deceive the people and bewitch Lord Ling Xiao again, do you believe that I will slaughter all of you? Wang Quan was so angry that his beard stood up. His face was ashen, and his eyes were filled with cold killing intent as he stared at those who spoke. Those people trembled. They suddenly remembered the ferocious might of the Wang family and stopped in an instant. Noisy. That you're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.